Welcome everyone to a nice early edition of CPL Match of the Week. It's me, Saetzero, as always, eagerly awaiting the return for Sublime so I could shuffle some of the casting on hand, take myself a nice little vacation. But that just means I'm watching more StarCraft anyway. No big deal. With me today is Y2 Kid. What's up, buddy?
Hello. I'm good. How are you? What's your favorite band?
Oh, you're doing it on stream, huh? So this is my audio check that I tried out. And like, instead of just say a sentence, like just talk. It's like, oh, well, I'll give it some focus. I'm like, well, what's your favorite band? And he caught him so off guard. Which at the moment, oh man, I don't even know. I've been listening to Hippocampus a lot. They're awesome. So I'll check them out. Indie rock stuff. It's fun. But we're not here to talk about music, although I could talk about it all day long, really. We're here to talk about some StarCraft. We got some games for you guys. 4 sets. A little tier 1, a sprinkle of tier 1 to make it exciting, and then some tier 2 to clean it up between the Beach Buddies of StarCraft and Pacific Fire. And really, there's not a whole lot more to lead into, except that there's more casting tomorrow in the afternoon with Pancake Princess as usual, the nice EU-friendly time slot, and later that evening with Cold Warp Gate. So if you want to see StarCraft tomorrow, there's something happening at a time slot that works well for you, plus more throughout the week. Just keep an eye on Discord. You guys have heard me say this spiel all the time, far too much. We're going to get into our first game, though, between Kimura and Blobfish.
Ooh, Kimura and Blobfish. I do know both of them.
Well, you're going to have to give me some of the info. I haven't actually seen too much from either of them. So, we're going to get started, though. In the top left, in the red Zerg, it's Blobfish.
And at the bottom right, it is Kimura spawning in the navy blue color.
Nice. Blobfish represent Pacific Fire. Kimura's on the Beach Buddies of StarCraft, which I love both those names. They're just fantastic. I think the CPL naming this season was just phenomenal in all regards.
Yeah, I mean, we all know which team won the best name awards.
Oh, my team, for sure.
And no. Sorry.
Are you kidding me? Fear Factory? Fear Factory's so good.
Fear Factory is pretty good, yeah. I mean, I'll give you that. But honestly, there's only one authority order in that whole naming convention, so we gotta give it to them.
Well, I don't know. You just out yourself. Go on. So what do you think is the best one? I think they're all just very good, and we're not trying to make people feel bad.
Obviously, Cheese Police, I told you.
See, that would be good, except the first cast I did, like half your team cheese. So you're not policing anything, or are you trying to be like real American police? Ooh, we get political here.
Ooh. Politics in the stream, not the best thing ever. Well, see, we're the cheese police. We're the one catching all the cheesers, but we're also allowed to cheese.
Okay.
Double standards. Who doesn't like that?
Well, anyone with like honorable naming convention like that, I think it's a little bit weird. And speaking of a little bit weird, 12 pool, not 12 hatchery from Blobfish. Definitely a little bit of an unusual opening from what we see. Just an early barracks from Kimura, no early gas just yet, so maybe lately a little more towards bio instead of the mech play. I think it's what I tend to see a lot here on Polaris Rhapsody. Bit of a weird map to move around the mech army.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the 12 pool here. I think that 12 hatch would have been much better because the map is just so large. But perhaps he did hear our talk about cheese and he was scared about it, so he played safe. Get some links early on.
Well, it's also going to give you just so much of a quick tech, right? Because the pool is nearing completion now, getting the early gas as well. If you're trying to catch someone off guard, maybe with a slightly different timing on your 2 hatch, whatever your lair tech you decide to go into, this could hit just slightly earlier, just slightly before, and maybe catch things off guard. Especially, I feel like this is the tier 1 game of the night, and I think people should have the timings down well enough where it's like you know exactly when to get an eBay for turrets. But you're not getting it like 20 seconds earlier than that. So this might actually be pretty good. We'll see if Kimura can tell that something's up here and react accordingly.
Yeah, but hopefully, I mean, Kimura did get that SCV in and he was able to see when the gas finished and when the pool finished. So hopefully he's working with relative timings here, not with... yeah, I know that minute mark I need to store my turrets.
Well, hopefully. He's like trying to do a good job denying this scout, but not blocking the ramp. I don't know if they're going to be able to. The drone's trying to help out. Ooh, barely. Drone. Nice.
That drone was sick.
And look at the reaction from Kimura. He has 4 SCVs on his ramp, just like blocking, expecting some kind of aggression here. So already this build that's just, it made some lane for a little bit of map control, but nothing too crazy. Kimura even having to make the CC on the high ground. So a bunch of little advantages from Blobfish. Is a little, slightly unusual opening, but nothing too weird. And with the hatchery then not started yet, I'm expecting to see some kind of play into Mutas. So we'll see if Kimura's ready, because everything's getting slowed down pretty significantly in this early game.
Yeah, Lair's almost done though. I don't think Blobfish should be committing here.
I mean, hey, if you could slow down anything a little bit, it's pretty good. You got an SCV kill for 1 lane, that's not bad. And Speed's about to finish up as well, but still, Kimura, like, you can't be feeling comfortable to move out right now. Second rack's on the way. Still haven't even started the gas yet, so any kind of, like, stim timing off an academy or anything like that, like, it's not going to be quite ready. And considering the Spire's already on the way, as Speed finishes, Blobfish looking like they're in a great spot, and they're drawing behind it. Like, really, this is unusual, but I kind of like it. It's pretty cool.
Nice odd. I just realized I don't have any StarCraft sounds. That is annoying.
Well, I mean, you can go into options and switch it anytime you want on your end. You're not the one running the stream.
Yes, which is the weird thing. Like, it is only in the options. Gonna have to check what's going on with that, but not now.
Oh, seeing a drone move out, Blobfish looking like they want to get that third base up, and unlike what we saw yesterday, which the games are good. If you missed them, make sure you tune in and check out the VOD for that one. We saw the third base tend to be that 12 o'clock mineral only, but Blobfish wants to be a little extra greedy. He's going straight for the double gas in the corner, which, if you get that online safely, it doesn't get punished, you're going to feel so comfortable as Zerg. I'm surprised not everyone at least just tries to go for it, just to see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty common, at least in pro level, so... And I think you can do it. Definitely can do it without muted pressure. I mean, you're hopefully gonna keep the Terran long enough in their base so that even if they deny eventually, it's still worth it.
Yeah, but look at all the like little advantages, and I don't know how much of this is Kimura's build being like a little bit messed up from the early game adaptation to defend. But look, Muta's already done. Stim's halfway done. eBay hasn't even been started yet, or just barely started now, but no turrets on the way. So this being slightly faster with the pool, this slightly faster tech, it's definitely looking like it could be pretty strong. And I heard the first scan goes down. It's in the main, sees a completed Spire, and more scans going down. But he doesn't know Muse are on the way. They didn't get caught in the vision.
Yeah, it's working out for Blobfish.
Well, Stim's about to finish, but there's no anti here in the main, so you start harassing away, killing plenty of workers here. Slow reaction from Kimura, but we're going to see if he has enough bio. Stim is finished, has a couple medics to go with it, but still, this is just ravaging the line, getting plenty of worker kills. Blobfish got to be careful.
These Mutas don't definitely want... Oh, they don't want to stay there. But he was counterattacking at the same time with the natural. Seems like it didn't really do much. But yeah, he was kind of busy.
Still, look, they haven't even resent the SCVs to that main to start mining up yet. And turrets are being made, but they're being made in really weird spots. Like there's one down at the bottom, it's a couple in the mineral line, but nothing in the main, nothing covering the production or the ramp. So if you find those angles at Blobfish, you can definitely put on a lot of aggression. He's trying to harass the natural. Probably the most defended spot, unfortunately, but still looking pretty effective so far, except for that one muta that decides to fly its own path.
Did not quite kill both of the turrets, which should be very painful for Blobfish. He took so much extra damage from that.
Yeah, I don't like it. Ended up that I think maybe over microing a little bit, didn't get the damage done to kill these things, or just didn't have enough mutas to do it. I'm not really sure what happened there, but definitely like tried to harass his way, but took so much damage behind it. And you can see Kimura now should be pretty comfortable. Like you have time to get your turrets up, you're getting all the upgrades you're looking for, and it's not a heavy drone count behind this, so Blobfish need to get this damage done. And honestly, it could have done a lot more, but just hasn't.
Yep, for sure. But seems like Blobfish is already transitioning from that, getting that lurker tech going on. Yeah, so he's not really going to be committing to those mutas.
Yeah, I mean, it's still enough just to kind of slow things down, pick off some of the army. Kimura's feeling comfortable to move out, though. A couple medics, and Blobfish, because of that bridge, things getting narrowed and funneled, actually doing a pretty decent job, like, killing off some of this bias, slowing down this push from Kimura. Baiting out a couple steps as well. As long as he doesn't overstay this time, things are looking pretty decent.
Yep, and Kimura's just not advancing fast enough. Like, his medics don't really have energy, which is a problem, but he really should be putting the pressure onto the Zerg, because if Blobfish has enough time to get these that lurker upgrade done and get these lurker X morphing, I mean, Kimura has no real chance of busting that nut.
Well, he's scanning the net, he's looking to see, and at least you don't see any stacked defense. I didn't see any lurkers either, so honestly, this is looking a little bit open here. Finds a couple overlords, so only manages to kill off one, but still, he's going to supply a Blobfish. We're seeing more scans going down. He's looking at the 9 o'clock. He's trying to find whatever base, but that corner in the top right hasn't been scouted yet. It might not get scouted for a while. Blobfish, though, his Muto pack keeps getting reinforced, and he might be able to do some big damage here as Kimura keeps moving forward.
Yeah, he has to start morphing that lurker. I mean, Kimura has a very decent chance right now. Let's see how this defense goes, but that's definitely not how you want to handle the defense of your forces.
Yeah, it's
Blobfish very smartly trying to bait Kimura to go back to on that bridge so he can take poke shots, but Kimura's not taking any of it.
Yeah, and honestly, when you only have a couple meters like this, it's not going to be enough. He keeps reinforcing more behind it, and this is at least buying time for that lurker to get finished up, and Blobfish hasn't really had a great opportunity here to like really drone up behind this, to use some of this pressure to kind of get greedy and get what they wanted to do. Just kind of whittling down the army, which is nice, but it's still buying time for these 2 starports are now done. You can start working on vessels and irradiate. And with the second eBay on the way, Kimura is going to be hitting that nice mid-game power that Bio is so like good at doing, just being able to put pressure on the map.
Got both control towers and the starports done already, but the science facility is not done. Do you think that you'll go for some dropships before the science vessels?
I don't think so. I think you just don't have enough units to like really kind of lean into that, try something like that. I like seeing that move a little bit later in the game though, when you know the armies get a little bit bigger. You can afford to lose a group of bio, regardless of what happens.
Yep, makes sense. I mean, so good points.
Yeah, these mutants taking some free shots here. The lurkers almost goes down, but not a fast reaction from Kimura here. The lurkers getting some big damage done. Look at they're going to try to run forward. If you can get lurker shots on the bridge, you're feeling great. But still, no scans going down from Kimura. He's trying to move forward, but he's not committing to killing these off. And you were actually right. It's going to be some dropships, but he doesn't have a whole lot of bio like that you could spare right now. I guess back in the main, he's doing a good job macroing up, so maybe he can get enough to do something here. And if dropship, especially if he goes to that top right, that could be a pretty big move to shut down this base that basically has no defense, especially before the fire mount's going to finish.
I don't think he knows about the top right yet. I think his plan here will be to go into the main and try to distract him so he can attack both the main and the natural at the same time.
Yeah, possibly. The way they're going, definitely looking towards that left side. Remember, there is that one more Overlord, so if he goes in that magic path where the Overlord's going to barely catch it, that'd be phenomenal here. But still, this is a pretty dedicated move, and it's going to be before the Filers are ready. There's lurker counts starting to move up here, but none of them are in the main, none of them in position. This Overlord's not going to see these dropships. Kimura might have a real good opportunity here. Lurkers are defending the front at least, so alleviating some of the pressure, but this is also just kind of making you feel real secure, real safe, real maybe not paying attention to that mini-map.
Yep, and there's currently no forces in the main, and I don't think that Mutaflock is alive anywhere on the map yet. There's one alive Muta at the top right base.
What are these dropships doing? They just turned around. They wasted valuable time that Blobfish is getting to react. You see, retreat in one lurker here does go down, but there is a scan behind it, more behind. And it's going to be enough. The scan's going to be pretty helpful here. The lurkers barely burrow in time, get a decent shot off, and you're going to eliminate some of this bio force. That turnaround on these dropships really hurt the damage Kimura could have gotten done. Although he's still doing quite a lot.
He is being a bit too indecisive. I think that could have ended the game right here on the spot.
Oh, these poor medics. The poor medics are trying to come and help, but they're just walking through the natural. Yeah, that just did not do the damage you really wanted to see. Have an opportunity like that. It's like you flew all the way to the hatchery, turned around, like the Overlord saw you. It's like either at that point you gotta commit or you gotta leave. That really kind of delaying that damage. That could have been so massive for Kimura, but the spot's still looking good. He's up 50 supply. He's working on vessels now. Radiant just got started as far as research goes, and working on another CC to take that next base. So even has that next step and really kind of kicking into a decent spot as far as macro goes. The money's building up a little bit, but you know, add a couple more barracks, not a problem at all.
He killed so many workers. I mean, he's in a pretty decent spot. Look at their economy. Like there's good saturation in the natural base, but third base is not looking very good, and there's no workers in the main base.
Yeah, a couple Scourge you managed to sneak through. They're going to try to find something, but I see a lot of blue army movement, and the vessels are already in the middle of the map. And Overlord does see them, so we'll see if these Scourge can catch anything. They at least get vision of the CC. Looks like Kimura wants to take that 3 o'clock base in that little nook that's kind of easy to defend as long as you have time to set up like some buildings, set up some units there to defend it. A couple siege tanks, all you really need. Lawfish, yeah, he added on a lot of drones. He's trying to catch up on that economy, but it's not in the main.
Might be able to take that one Sans vessel. Let's see. Sans vessel. Oh no, he missed it.
Yeah, I mean, try and do what you can here, but you see Kimura in position to put pressure on that top right base, and there's a couple lurkers, 5, kind of spread out in a decent little thing. If there's a whole position, that might be pretty effective here, but if you come from that left side, it looks like Kimura might be looking that way. I think it's gonna be pretty hard to hold this, especially when you don't have a Defiler like here ready and waiting.
He's got to the natural and Onidas, so he's safe.
Well, you're assuming the good reactions, which we would love to see all these players play off you like that, but you still got to actually execute it. And sometimes you just get caught a little unaware while you're trying to build up. Kimura's gonna start pushing forward. He's got these vessels. You can start radiating some of these lurkers and kind of break your way through. As that Ultralisk Cavern is about halfway done, that'd be great to kill off that tech once it finishes. Ooh, he's even going in with the D Matrix.
I mean, that was a pretty good move, but what do you think of attacking this base from the north as he just did from the south?
Oh, I think he's coming from the south, so he has a guaranteed retreat path. From the north side, it's a little easier to flank from the natural. It's a shorter distance, easier to go through here, but he's further away from that Nidus. First Darkstorm goes down as the Defiler shows up and trying to help the best they can here, but still, getting some decent damage done. Lings are out of the swarm trying to push forward. Second swarm goes, and Kimura, GG's, what? Dude! Yo, his coach needs to yell at him. Don't be early GG for no reason, just because something happened. Come on.
Yeah, I told you I know these players. Kimura is known to do that.
Oh man, look, even so the people in chat are like, huh, what? Dude, you're up 50 supply, you got the third base, like look, you got the CC down here, you're taking the 3 o'clock. Oh, I would ream this player out of there as their coach, but you know what? Sometimes you feel the Fires are going to win you the game anyway, so I get it, but it's not what you want to see.
He was doing pretty well, like that was... I don't know, what's the opposite of fantasy GG timing? But that was it.
I think it's the Idra GG timing for anyone that's watched StarCraft 2 from back in the day.
Yeah, I mean... Do you remember that Idra versus Hib game?
Yeah, I do. I watched a lot of SC2. I still do, actually. I think it's a very fun game to watch. Just very different than Brood War. But you know what? That was an interesting setup there. Kimura definitely has the chops to get themselves in a good position in the late game. Maybe on Polypoint it'll work out a little bit better, but man, if you're not comfortable fighting Defilers and Lurkers on Polaris, Polypoint's not going to treat you much better. We're going to get into the next game. I see you still got your little sound issues. You can figure that out while we're in game. We got time while they're building up a spawning pool and a barracks. Like, you don't need to rush into it. No big deal. But let's get into that second game. In the top right, in the red Zerg, it's Blobfish.
And in the top left, we've got Kimura again. Same colors, so that's something very interesting. I do like to keep an eye on every time when they're playing. Like, what colors do the players choose?
Okay, well, if you're gonna bring it up, I have to ask, what do you play?
See, it's very map dependent and mood dependent. I do like orange and purple.
I was gonna say, are you one of those dirty, like, I'm playing Eclipse, I pick black, I'm playing Polaris, I pick dark blue, are you one of those dirty guys?
Yeah, ground zero, pick black or red. I hate these people.
Yeah, I still see that everyone in chat's like, he was in a good spot, like, why did he leave? And honestly, I don't have an answer for you. That was a completely unnecessary GG. He didn't even, like, lose the army he was attacking with. It's, Kimura, man, I hope you watch this VOD. Like, just, you know better. Don't be doing that kind of stuff. But that's alright. We're on the second game. Polypoint instead. We'll see if it is going to still be the bio play. Maybe do something a little bit better. Because if you don't feel comfortable, like, they got the Filers Darkstorm, the game's over, maybe you go mech. Maybe you go that Goliath build. It's a little more robust against that kind of high-tech, fancy play that Zerg can throw at you.
Yep. Oh man, that sound thing is annoying me so much.
I mean, you got a little bit of time to try and troubleshoot it, or, you know, if you got the options in game, maybe you mute it in Windows, like in the sound balancer. But we are seeing an overpool from Blobfish, so definitely a bit of a different build this time. Still wants to get the early pool, still doesn't, wants the safety of being able to make those early legs or put some pressure on. With that early SCV scout, he should have an idea of where his opponent is, especially since that first Overlord did go the correct direction, so we'll see if he does plan to put on some little aggression, but with Kimura's early scout being correct on the first try, easy peasy. The game is just so easy to figure out what to do when you know what your opponent is doing. No early gas taken yet, so I'm not expecting any kind of mech play. None of that Goliath stuff. Looking like Kimura is an honorable bio player. And the SC was trying to block the ramp, but that drone just waltzes right on it. Doesn't get in far enough to see the lack of a gas being taken, and a couple lanes going to try to kill off the scout, so Kimura's going to lose their vision very quickly.
Yeah, walks right in and then right out. That's a very good mannered player.
And again, look at this from Kimura. Like, very diligent of pulling these SCVs on the ramp, making sure there's no aggression. With Blobfish doing this earlier pull, he didn't make a whole lot of lanes to go behind it, though, so I guess if he wants to break through, I don't really think you would go for it, but you can at least control the low ground, make it hard for the Terran to take that expansion, as again, CC being built on the high ground, it's going to have to float it down.
Maybe Kimura has just been scarred from previous games.
I do that. Like, I know it's bad. I build more cannons than I need to every time I play against Zerg. It's like, I know what happens every time I try to skimp a little bit, so trust me, I get it all the way.
Yep. And then you end up losing because you make too many cannons.
Oh, for sure, every single time. But at least I lose on my terms. I lose because I messed up, not because legs got in and just made me want to punch my keyboard.
Yep. I mean, I totally get that. It's much better to lose and then feel no frustration about, oh yeah, if I could just do just this one thing. Then you lose and you're like, oh man, if I just did not do that, only this one thing, it feels so much better.
Yeah, we'll end up seeing here. Second barracks on the way as well as the gas. So, again, I think we're going to see the 2 racks get your academy, get those upgrades, and probably up to the 5 racks that we saw before. I don't see why Kimura would actually change their game plan. It looked real good despite what he thought about the game, but you know what? Maybe watch the replays like, man, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, he was super ahead. No reason to do that.
A little move out from Terran to secure that low ground. These Lings not going to try to fight to the death here, going to give it up, but still, Kimura forced to float it down, buys a little bit of time here. And Blobfish, despite the earlier pull, actually already looking economically in a better spot here, because I remember, like, the last game, they're kind of floating that high teens drone count for a significant amount of time, and now with the Spire in the way, they're going to have a 3 hatchery worth of production, and they already have slightly better work count as a couple more in production. We'll see if all the anti-air is on time for Kimura this time. The Academy's nearing a completion here. Spire's in progress, nearing that halfway done point. No eBay star just yet. Kimura, though, was pretty good about getting the scanners as soon as possible, scanning for the possible tech. And it's not like the Spire is hidden, where you wouldn't be able to like scan and see what's going on here. So I think Kimura will have the defense they need. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. There's the eBay on the way. Stim right behind it. And like everything looking pretty good from the Terran so far. It looked this way in the last game, but Bloodfish did have a big opportunity to do some good muted damage. They just kind of fumbled the decision making on where to attack and how hard to commit.
Yeah, I mean the early game definitely went to Blowfish. It's just he did not commit as much to the mutas as he maybe could have, and then in the end it was that drop that, despite Kimura's indecisiveness, did a lot of damage.
We're seeing the first turrets go down. Here's that first scan. In the main, Spire is done, sees eggs morphing, so you'd have to assume that's mutas. And we already see turret going up at the natural, second one right behind. Actually making 3, so looking like respecting how good it is to attack on that ridge. Luff is taking the opportunity to send a drone to the bottom right as well. Get that next main, get the extra gas expansion instead of taking the easy mineral right outside the natural instead. So both players playing pretty good. These leagues actually find a little window as the Marines retreat to the main, but they overstayed their welcome. They get cleaned up without any issues at all.
Yep, and timing-wise, this time Kimura is in a much better position. The mutas are out now, but the turrets are already done. Last game, if you remember, his eBay was halfway done at the time that the mutas arrived at the base. So
yeah, a lot more turrets and in a lot better positions. Some in the main mineral line, some covering production, but that natural especially well defended here. So Lobfish, if you can find the angle, and he's going to go right to the main. The bio's just waiting for him on the high ground. So hopefully he doesn't overcommit this time, but still 8 mutas is enough to definitely micro around, do what you can. And you can bait stims, just kind of walk around. He's getting some little value killing off some of his army without taking too much damage in return. As I say that, He just enjoys basking in the missile turrets, unfortunately.
So many turrets, I mean, I don't think he can do any damage. Still hasn't started that, oh, there we go. That bottom left base.
Yeah, no, I just took a look at that. I'm like, that drone's still there. He's got the money, but he's adding on more mutas, wants to keep more things. And look, already a variation. No Hydra Den, but he's getting a fast Queen's Nest, so maybe going to be rushing into this Hive Tech, which if he was getting the armor upgrade when that Evo Chamber completes, maybe it's going to be getting some Ultralisk instead of Defiler, which would be an interesting change-up to see if it works. Blobfish, he's engaged with some of the Lings, trying to micro with some of the mutas as well. Has to be careful. Stim Marine still very, very strong here. They don't have that +1 weapon yet, and I don't think they have that attack range either. So you can, you can definitely buy a little bit of time here, but you gotta be careful moving forward. Don't want to throw those units away for free.
I mean, in these positions, it would have been so nice if he kept on going for these mutas and then eventually went for a greater Spire tech. I think it's so abusive.
I love seeing Guardian harass on these kind of maps, but when your opponent's already going bio and Radiate's going to be an option, is you see these mutas trying to fight the bio force, and it's hard to just out micro Marines that stand there and shoot you a lot. It's so you can see lost 4 mutas trying to harass, but still reinforcing more behind it. But I think it's the same problem we were seeing last game. The damage is not bad, but it isn't justifying that he's still on 20 drones. He's really being like stingy with making extra workers. As I say, that gets some more in production, but it's about time for Kimura. He's got those 2 starports on the way. Vessel production will begin soon enough, and he's got this bio force, so you can try to push out and see if you can get a reaction out of Blobfish.
Yep, let's see how his push will go this time. I mean, losing these few medics, they hurt a lot, and I don't know if he has enough forces to defend that. So it seems like Blowfish can just barely not clear this, but yeah, it was a lot of losses from both sides.
Yeah, I don't even like the choice. Like, he had an opportunity to fly away from that. The Lings weren't trapped in that fight. He went into the engagement, and then he just like let the armies fight the best they could. It does buy window. There's a big drone transfer to the bottom right to get that online, which I guess is nice, but you just lost all your mutas. That's your threat on the map, and when you are rushing for Hive and skipping the lurkers, you need a reason for Kimura to not just walk across the map and kill you, and wiping out his army's not enough when he's got all these barracks back at home for extra production.
And I mean, another deviation that we see from last game. Last game, Lynx had speed. This time, I don't think they have.
Like
So
it's hard to tell. Like I feel like sometimes I'm like, do they? Don't they? They still seem fast. I'm not really sure. We are seeing that it is that Ultra on the way, that +1 carapace nearing completion soon, but Chimera is doing pretty good, keeping up with their upgrades. But it's 2 dropships again. It seems to be the move. And you can see Muta's kind of in position. Maybe they can do something to deflect this, but Chimera might find a great opportunity to do big damage. As long as Scourge don't catch it out or something, that's what you're really looking for. And you can see Blotfish really trying to save up their money for these Ultras, but they were poor earlier. They're just not going to have a whole lot of stuff to use.
yeah, and I mean, he is going for the crack upgrade for the Lynx. So do you think that he just forgot about speed? Honestly.
I mean, we'll see what it is right now. Chimera's at the front door here. No lurkers. Decent amount of lings, though, and a couple sunken. So I think if you're trying to just brute force attack here without the reinforcement, it would be difficult. But here comes that second wave of Marines. No extra medics behind it. And a flank of the lings as the crackling upgrade does finish. They're going to try to fight through, but the Bioforce is just a little too much here. It's going to be able to clean it down, but it does at least whittle things down. But when that reinforcement wave comes, how is Blotfish going to defend the front of this base?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily love that commitment there from Blowfish. He had no reason to engage the Terran army without the support of the Senkens.
I mean, that's been a little bit of the story of what we've seen so far from Blotfish, just making some rough decisions. One drop just sneaking into the main, but there's 2 Scourge right there. Oh, brutal. Doesn't get it done, unfortunately. But Chimera's they're still at a great spot. Look at that 50 supply lead, despite just donating 10 of it.
Blowfish did learn his lesson from last game, and he's not letting any drops in.
Yeah, I mean, Chimera's just trying to build up here. He's working on the vessel production. Irradiate did just finish as well, and he's going to try to move out here. He's got this big Bioforce, and Blotfish doesn't have anything to work with. You know, it's going to be hard. I didn't upgrade. Like, I don't know how to update the Nightbot. It's on the screen. It's on the screen you're watching right now. I can't believe every time. That's all good. No big deal. I'll learn how to use Nightbot one day. I'll yell at Snipe. You can teach me. But hey, we got the Ultras in production. The Chitinous Plane did finish, but even like at this natural, like there's so many sunk, it's gonna be hard to engage. A move forward with these Mutas, he does kill off all the areas, but loses everything in the process. And look at the supply, like Chimera's up by 60. No lurkers here to defend, just 5 sunkens. Do you just try to muscle through here? I think you could do it if you wanted to.
I mean, these Ultras are about to hatch, so his timing is quite limited.
He's trying to go in here. He's not focus firing super well here, but it's still, the Sunkens go down right as the Ultras do hatch. They don't have, I don't think they have that speed upgrade, but they got the extra armor, but still, it's not that much here. Plenty of bio do survive, and these Ultras are just not getting the job done without any support, unfortunately. Chimera's going to kill this off, be up 70 supply and knocking on the front door. But maybe he's about the GG. No, it's Blotfish this time, and we're going to go to 1-1. We're going to see a game 3.
Oh man, I mean, I would not be surprised to see Chimera GGing there, because Ultras had 3 armor versus only +1 upgrade from the Marines. Yeah, okay, let me try to shut my headphones.
Yeah, we'll give you a minute before we get into that next game to try to figure out your stuff, and that means I got a little bit of time. I did catch some stuff in the chat. I didn't call it out of time in the middle of some action, so I missed it. But I did see Nightcat did rate us. Always appreciate to get extra support, extra viewers onto the channel. And I did see some questions like for CPL, do the coaches coach while they play? For practice, yeah. For training, I know some coaches do, but not in an actual game. Like in the actual game, that'd be a bit of the cheating, a bit of the unfair. These players are just playing the 1v1, trying to use the skill set they learn from the coaches while they do it.
Yeah, I mean, we do have some coaches show matches sometimes, but that's about it. Like, they don't play the regular season.
Well, I think they were asking is, like, do you have the coach, like, in a call, like, telling you what to do while you play? Which I don't think, no. Like, just maybe for practice while you learn a build. Your mic does sound a little bit different, so the chat can let us know if that's good, bad, or just different. But that's okay. We can start into that next game, our game 3. We're already seeing a 3-game set. We're going to Eclipse, which is the final set for this week 3 of play.
Yeah. So chat, please do let me know if the sound is very annoying or if you can hear any other sounds besides just me and Saetzero talking.
Yeah, I mean,
If that's the case, I will make it better, but now at least I do have StarCraft sounds. So
yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. No, not a big deal. In the bottom left, in that navy blue Terran, it's Kimura, who tied it up in a pretty convincing fashion in game 2.
Yep, and in the bottom right, in orange, is Blobfish.
Like, kid,
Blobfish playing
that's top right. Come on, man, it's Eclipse.
What did I say? Bottom right?
You did.
Oh wow.
I think you're just predicting the future. Zerg loves to take those bottom right bases. It's such a good, desirable target. Those ramps make it easy to defend. 2 sources of gas income. Feels like a great place to go. So you're just living on a different plane right now.
I'm just slightly ahead of time.
That seems pretty reasonable to me.
I mean, literally, I am.
Yeah, being in Europe doesn't make you ahead of time. Like, that's not how that works, man.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. If you ask me for the lottery numbers, I will tell you.
Well, hit me up with the DMs for those. I need to make some money quick, and you know what I'll do if I got some money real quick like that? I could subscribe to the CPL Twitch. Give a little bit of support. It's a little bit of feedback right back to the community. Well, you know what? Yeah, slide to my DMs. Back to the Future me. You can just give me the codes.
You can also donate with the coffee link that we've got.
Oh, there we go. See, this guy knows how to show. I appreciate it. And look, Blobfish shaking it up again. We're actually getting a hatchery first opening this time instead of this pool first stuff, which on Eclipse, I feel like I've seen the most pool first on Eclipse out of the map pool we're playing on here. I think I've seen a lot of 9 pool put on some reasonable regression. Just throw the Terran on the back foot. But I know there are leg tight walls, so I can see the way you might not want to go for that every time.
I think Blobfish is just metaing Kimura here. He went for pull first on the biggest map that we've got this week, and he went for hatch first on Eclipse. So he's playing pretty ballsy. Like, he says, you saw me going pull first twice. Like, you're gonna expect that.
Yeah, but that's the thing with, from Terran. You don't have to change your build. You don't have to do, things out of order. It's oh, I need to be ready for early links and stuff. You can do the build he's been doing, no problem.
Well, true, but maybe Kimura's real plan was to go for a proxy racks on Eclipse, and Blobfish just wanted to prevent that from happening, showing him, I know how to make zerglings early.
I mean, if you're going layers deep like that, that's why StarCraft as a set is definitely a great game. Kimura's SCV has not just drifted downward a tiny bit, so it actually doesn't see this third hatchery, but now it does as the links do harass it. So unfortunately, gonna get that knowledge that it is 3 hatching. Considering Kimura's been playing this, I'm going up to 5 racks, I'm getting +1, I'm going to SK Terran, I feel like he's already in a good spot, and we haven't even really done anything significant this game.
Yeah, and I mean, Blobfish is definitely changing it up quite a bit here. He's not gonna go for these super early mutas.
Well, I mean, he might just have a little more muscle behind it this time, and Mediocre did subscribe at tier 1. Man, actually shilling works sometimes? Holy crap, much appreciated, dude. And
Blobfish Kimura is able to scout what's going on in Blobfish base without second SCV. I really like that move. When the first SCV was killed off, he sent out the second one. And
yeah, he even went down around the bottom edge of the map. It went on a weird path just to make sure it can kind of get in and see what's going on. So it sees the lair. It does survive for a decent amount of time, but the lair's halfway done. So you can assume Spire, your opponent's done it 2 games in a row, but this actually doesn't write off lurkers entirely. We know it does. But Kimura, that eBay does just finish up here, should be feeling good. Actually, I like it. He made the adaptation. He made the eBay before the Academy, not in a rush to get the stim and everything, because he knows it's 3-hatch Muta. So he's actually really in a great spot here with the build selection he has gone for.
Yeah, and also, I mean, Kimura saw all the creep and didn't see any Hydroden, so I think he should be pretty confident that it's no lurkers, and you can see that by not throwing down the a threat next to the bunker.
That should be good. This SCV trying to sneak out again. I don't know if it was going to the 9 o'clock to try to get a base or get some scouting info, but these leagues are going to tell it to go right home. It will die, unfortunately, beforehand. This bunker is finished and completed with all sorts of Marines in it, so it's, you know, not going to be able to poke too far forward, but still, the +1's on the way. Academy about to finish up, and Bobfish is actually making a crap ton of drones here, so the economy looking much healthier this game. I guess that's the power of getting that early hatchery, right? That you actually have like an economy and workers.
I think so. I mean, he will be able to support a lot of mutants now, because, I mean, if you look at it, in both previous games, he did stop at about 20 drones. Now he's at 29, so that's 30% increase to his economy.
Oh, I mean,
So-
we'll end up seeing how this goes, but yeah, the work count even between the two, that first scan goes down, and it does barely see the spire. So trying to hide it on the third hatchery, didn't hide it quite far enough, unfortunately. So meters are on the way. We'll see if Kimura is going to make the turrets in the spots they need. Currently in the main, nothing in production. Is adding on the racks. And by the natural, though, going to be covering the mineral lines. Seeming like everything's looking pretty decent here. And, you know, it's going to be Kimura going up to the 5 racks, getting the production on. It's going to be up to Blobfish, I think, to get some damage done. Like, try to slow things down a little bit. And I would like to see him going to lurkers this game. I don't think the crazies we saw in the game 2 looked very strong. The way play just wasn't very effective. I don't want to see that move.
Yeah, I mean, he was... No, actually, he wasn't in a better position in game 1. It's just Kimura did an Hydro GG timing.
Well, I think he was in a better position with the Mutas. He just didn't get the damage done with them. So Blobfish is definitely finding opportunities to get something done. And we'll see if these first Mutas can, but he's moving forward just 5. He doesn't wait for the big group that could really put pressure on. And you can see, taking some damage, trying to harass these turrets, but doesn't even get a turret killed, loses the Muta in the process, and reveals his hand, although Kimura knew everything that was going on anyway. If you can find an opportunity to get something done, that'd be great. But this is buying a lot of time where he's not taking that third up at the 12, finally making that decision to make that hatchery. It's kind of slowing things down.
Yep, only 8 mutas though. He will keep reinforcing. I mean, the mutas here are doing exactly what the mutas are supposed to do. They are keeping the Terran home, so...
Yeah, but you still gotta be able to defend this push if Kimura wants to go out here. And Blobfish, he's got 11 mutas here, but sometimes we've seen the engage get a little bit sloppy, so we'll see if he ends up trying to fight here. Finds little angles, so you can try to pick off some things here. 11 mutas so good in this spot, as long as you just don't fly over and eat a bunch of stem shots. Blobfish being a little more careful this game, and I'm already liking that.
Yeah, missing officials there. I don't know what the latency was in that game, but I feel like it shouldn't be too bad because they're both from Europe. I think they're both from Northern Europe, in fact.
I'll have to take your word for that one. I don't know where anyone is in anything. It's like I'm barely even part of this scene. I just like talking about the game. We're going to see these mutas. They're trying to poke forward here, still pretty strong and finding a little bit of an opportunity, but actually doesn't take too much damage this time. Loses 1 muta on the backside, but not so bad, and catches his SCV that was going to the bottom right, maybe to get Kimura that third base, which surprising to go down here instead of going towards the 9, so maybe a scouting mission as well. But Kimura got those starports on the way. He's going to be in a really strong spot, but Hive's halfway done, Lurker aspect's complete, and there's Lurkers on the way for Blobfish. Supply's pretty even, so Zerk's gotta be feeling comfortable as long as something doesn't go terribly awry.
Yeah, and I mean, he is delaying the control towers slightly this time, so I don't think we're going to see early dropships, as we saw in both games so far.
Yeah, I don't think with the extra larvae we've seen in the mutas that haven't been eliminated out here. And Kimura's stimming trying to move forward here, does find a little bit of opportunity to do some damage. Blobfish loses a couple mutas and gets one pretty bruised up, so gotta be careful not to lose too much here, but has plenty of lanes on the map to spot what's going on, and 12 drones behind this, so he has really changed how he wants to play his game. He's all economy when he's going 3-hatch apparently, which is awesome to see, but still, you gotta survive till you get to the point you want to. The Defiler Mound's about halfway done, but that means Consume's still pretty far away, and Kimura's army is pretty scary. These Mount Lurkers burrowed up here, and drones getting donated as they reveal that there is a base at the 12 o'clock, though I'm sure Kimura knew that at this point, but still, free worker kills as he tries
there also
to...
are 2 lurkers over the ramp, so that base is not going down before science vessels are out.
Yeah, and I think Kimura heard you talking some real smack about those dropships. He's making them anyway. Like, he doesn't care what you think.
Yeah. What do you know? I think you play Protoss. Shut up.
Yeah, I play Protoss. Protoss is great. Oh no, more drones getting donated as Kimura's parked outside of natural. Can't really dissuade this. There's still these mutas here that can maybe get something done. And Kimura's like, they're not trying to rush to take their next base. They're really building up a pretty scary army. But I mean, you know that Defiler Mound, once that consume is done, then things are going to change, and Kimura's going to be very careful how he fights Blobfish in the open field.
Yeah, I love that he's got the Nidus between these two bases, but he keeps transferring the drones the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, it's about sending a message, right? Drones are fun, go for it. Scourge are really ready to make sure that these dropships can't get in for free. But still, that means there's not a whole lot of ground army here. He is going to load up. Don't go for... Oh, no, please. Not like this. Turn around quickly.
No, you don't want to do that.
Bait it, bait it.
Why? He's so discouraged.
Yeah, so a little bit of aggression, a little greedy and optimistic from Kimura as he donates a whole bunch of supply here. Does kill some Scourge for your troubles, I guess, but that's not what you're really looking for. And with Consume done, we're actually getting more Defiler upgrades. Rushing towards Plague, that's going to be so effective in these kind of spots to get something done because Kimura's got good vision. Look, he's got a Marine at all these bases. He knows Blobfish is just stuck on these 3 bases. So as long as you're parked out and not taking a bad fight, here's those Dark Swarms though. Is this going to be that bad fight I was worried about? Does retreat pretty quickly. So far things are looking good, but Defiler's are just so broken.
I just realized something. Look at the Kimura's Nacho.
I don't know what I'm trying to look at. There's one trapped SCV.
Yeah, there's only 6 mining minerals.
Oh, that's not particularly great. This SCV count is actually all games been quite low. Kimura's been gearing up for a big attack here. And you see these Dark Swarms really pushing away.
Yeah, so I was wondering why Kimura's minerals were so low, and I think I can see why now. He's way oversaturated in the main base.
Well, it's not that. Look, he only has 34. Like, this isn't a healthy SCV count for this late in the game on 2 bases. You would want more at this point or be taking a 3rd base behind it. So, Kimura, I think just neglecting SCV is really kind of going for the kill here. And that might be, like, part of how you feel that you have to, like, not let this game go crazy long, right? But, ooh, look at that play going down. Hits so much buyout. It can hit these vessels as well. A Radiant does go down to Defiler to kind of slow things down, but if these vessels get to 1 health, you just suicide Mutas trying to kill them.
I mean, I think he's gonna go for that vessel snipe thing. Yeah, go on, Blobfish.
All right.
Maybe he got 1.
Yeah, pretty easy to kill a vessel with 3 health with a whole pile of Mutalisks. Second one's real low as well. A couple of Lings trying to go forward before they really have the right to. Defiler moving forward. Nice Plague again. He's really just trying to do damage to eat away this medic energy.
Defiler hiding underneath that factory. I like that.
Oh, that's fun. We're seeing some Dark Storms going down. He's trying to press forward, but where are the units? Like, he's just using them. It is Ultralisk going down instead. He does have the kite in his armor, so he's up to 4 pretty good upgrades. Terran's at 2-1, so they're not slouching either. It hasn't started the next wave, so Blobfish's going to try to take this fight.
Dark Storm real soon.
Honestly, if you were going to do this, though, I think we're just trying to whittle away with more plagues. It might have been the way to go. Make sure everything's real, like, unhealthy. But he gave time for the medics to heal up a lot of his bio. The Darkstorm's doing the best it can, but Kimura's army is taking some damage, but not really the damage you're looking for as Blobfish. But both players just refuse to take another base.
I mean, Darkstorm is good and I like it, but he really needs to stay in the area of that Darkstorm. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, it's not fantastic when you're just kind of using it that way. But, I mean, you're still alleviating some of the pressure, but Kimura hasn't had to leave this pocket outside of the natural in ages, it feels like, at this point. And they're still building up plenty of army back at home. The vessel count's going to keep growing as well. And with Zerg stuck on 3 bases, and you can see that these fires are being effective, but not winning him the game, not turning this battle right away. I want to see another move from Blobfish. There's a whole crap ton of lings moving out. Maybe this is what you're looking for here. He's trying to kill his factory with some mirrors, but I ain't going to get it done.
He's flooding with links right now, so I think that army might be overwhelmed very soon.
A big lurker move forward on a Darkstorm, gets some nice bio kills, and the Radiate's still looking for all these defilers. He doesn't have a lot of defilers actually made, unfortunately, so he's trying to do what he can to get a little bit of use out of it. The lings are going to move forward here, but there's no orange cloud to protect them. He's just going to try to engage this fight, but the bio is still pretty strong here, so these lings kind of get to be a free donation. Blobfish, some of these fights, again, like just bad decision making about when to take the fights or where to engage. He's kind of throwing away units he can't afford to lose for free.
I don't know if Kimura scouted that. Okay, so now he scouts the bottom right base.
Yeah, well, this is a good move out.
He had a Marine scope there almost before scanning it, so some 6-star stands out of Kimura.
Yeah, it doesn't get a cancel either, so it doesn't save the money on that
Yeah.
hatchery. A little link counterattack going to the 9.
Right counterattack.
Yeah.
But there is no third base, so joke's on you, Blobfish.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity is there. Now they're still in position. More ultras are being made and defilers behind it, so really trying to do what you can here, but still Blobfish can establish that next base. Kimura trying to choke him out. If he took a third base, I feel a lot more comfortable about this Terran's position. A lot of Scourge moving out here to get one vessel kill, but the bio's enough to defend most of it. And Lane's getting baited into a fight without the Dark Swarm. This is a great move from Kimura to get some free kills. A play goes down, but not quite enough.
Well, you say that, but if you look at all these medic energy, they're pretty worn out.
Fair enough.
So
I don't know, I would want to see more of it though. I feel like he's throwing out one plague every so often and it makes it a little bit hard to deal with. But here comes some ultras. Maybe that's going to be the move that once these are weakened, you kind of go through. And Kimura is not with that giant stronghold outside the natural like we were seeing before. He's kind of splitting up his army in other directions. So finally, Blobfish can clear out this army, get a little bit of cushion, a little safety. If he kills all these medics, that's actually kind of a big loss here, as Blobfish is now actually ahead in supply with this Zerg army.
Yeah, and now clearing all that army, he should feel pretty comfortable taking another base or just finishing the game. I think Blobfish can do whatever he wants from here.
Yeah, I mean, we're still seeing Kimura's work count didn't really alleviate. He's working on CC now, but there's ultras outside of the base. He had all this window when Zerg couldn't move out and do anything about it. It didn't expand then. Now he's trying to. It's not going to be enough. Big stem and a lot of Marines here. Not a lot of medics with it. We'll see if the ultras do want to take this fight or wait for the link support. So you can see, gonna keep moving forward here. A couple vessels, maybe they can help out in some form, but still, Blobfish just has too much stuff here. The bio cannot maintain this.
Yeah, and I mean, look at all these slings that are flooding the natural right now.
And that's gonna be enough. A much more sensible GG from Kimura, which means Blobfish does take it a nice 2-1, and apparently as long as he's going lurkers and defilers and using the more standard style, he looks a lot more solid. That game 2 looked a little bit off, but you know, maybe just try it out the crazy Zerg style. Just didn't have the money to support it.
Yeah, I mean, well done from Buffy this game. Like, we saw it all. Like we saw Nitro did GG, we saw Kimura winning, we saw Blobfish winning.
Yeah,
Pretty
everyone's
good
just having a
series.
good time, man. Well, that is our Tier 1 series for tonight. We got a couple more sets tonight. It is Zoe and Intion Superman represent Beach Bunnies. And then we got Beto, Arcane Winds, and Bash for Pacific Fire. This is all going to be a bunch of Tier 2 play, so still going to be some exciting games with skill level just a tiny bit lower, but no big deal. Still going to be an exciting time to watch as we get to our second set of the night.
I mean, I don't think Tier 2 is that much lower than Tier 1. I used to be a Tier 2 last season. I don't think I'm any better now, if anything worse.
Alright, so Evan Mars
I
broken
moved
and
up a
numbers.
bit, so.
Yeah, Evan Mars broken and numbers mean nothing. That's fine. That means we're getting an exciting game. Did they top versus bottom? No, they did not. In the top left, in the Peach Turret, it's Wild West Zoe.
Yep, and in the bottom right, this time for real, in orange, it is. Bueno.
It's just the one, Benno. These fun user IDs, these players having fun.
Alright.
Oh, you're getting out in the chat. You're B rank. You're too good. You're too good to downplay yourself, or is that just the true StarCraft player way?
Well, actually exposing me, I'm not B rank. I mean, I get to B rank every now and then. I cannot hold it.
Sounds like you're B rank if you keep getting there.
I don't know, man.
Says only luck. I think that's just a big StarCraft player. Like, you look at all these Fantastic Four players. I'm shit. I'm the worst. I'm so bad at this game. It's like, man, no one's like happy. And then you guys like people like Arcade Plus. It's just like, I cried a lot of loss, but I feel like I'm improving. It's like, these are the people we need to listen to. Well, we're not getting anything unusual from either player in this matchup.
Well, you say that, but Benno is scouting after the pylon, so.
I mean, that's not that unusual. It's a two-player map. You can throw a little bit of fear into your opponent. It gives you an opportunity to go for a gas steal if you wanted to go for it, which he's going over there. Is he going to?
For it.
Nah, doesn't go for it. That's okay. No big deal. But I still think it's worth checking out, making sure that you're not getting proxy racks, make sure it's not CC first. I think it is an early scout, but I don't think it's completely unjustified.
I mean, there was, I think it was Ugnas. Was it Ugnas last season? I can't remember, but there was some Protoss player from Samian Fire last time that did tell me about a build that was scout after pylon. And then you delay your gas, you take it at 12, and then you start mining a bit later, which, I mean, he's mining a bit later, but I think that's just because he forgot to send probes.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, but I don't know, like, in my opinion, for PvT, you don't really have to scout that early, especially on a two-player map. The only thing that you have to be worried about is BBS. For two-player maps, and with that, just make a pylon somewhere near to have vision to another either gas or minerals, so you can do mineral walk, and you're safe.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but still, having a reaction if your opponent goes for a gaslight expand, the opportunity that maybe you can do some kind of thing, and he got the probe in here, which you can all do with a later scout as well. So it's like if you're just feeling like you want a little bit of safety, nothing too bad. Marker's going down at the front, but that probe, if he was paying attention, the factory started, but guys did not get pulled out of gas. It usually means 2-fac. We'll see if Zoe commits to it.
Yep. Like, everything screams 2-fac. I would be very surprised if it isn't. But you are able, especially on two-player maps, you are able to get away with 0 scouting and just sending your first Dragoon. And just by the timing of the command center, you can confirm whether it was Rax FE, Factory FE, or Gas FE.
What is with this SCV pull to the front? I don't know what I'm looking at right now.
They would desync?
Is there a desync? Like, do you see that too?
I
Or
don't
no?
know. I see it, yeah. I don't know if
well,
it was both desync at the same time or.
Well, I don't think it's a desync because usually, if the replay has some kind of issue, someone stops making units. So like the money, like I think that was intentional, but I don't know why. You know, maybe a misclick. You know, happens to everybody. Not a big deal here. Nexus is on the way for Benno, and he's working on getting those nice Dragoon upgrades, that extra range, and just one gateway.
Look at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, my man. There we go. This is how you play Protoss. Although this could
It's
just
exactly
be
how
this
you
could
play
just be
Protoss.
this could just be a scatter pile. He might be an honest boy. Like, come on, you don't know.
Yeah, with the probe waiting right there next to the pound, it's definitely a scouting pound.
Well, I mean, look, it's a robo back at home. It looks so normal.
Actually, you are right. Yeah, I mean, I was expecting that robo to go down. I have no idea. Is it... No, I cannot call it. Maybe it is a scouting pound. You're right.
I don't know. We'll see what it is. Another gateway back at home as well. So I don't think it's any kind of shenanigans. Maybe just laying claim to that 9 o'clock base as the expansion you want to take later, because Terran's not going to scout that for a while, right? Like they're not going to push to take it right away, and it's not the common thing. So maybe just playing a little bit of the mind games, being a little creative, or that could be like hiding Templar tech for like a shuttle or something. You know, it could be all sorts of stuff. But both players got their first expansion up, or at least on the way for the Terran, and should be able to just comfortably get into this next stage of the game. And we're going to have to look to see if Protoss wants to get some aggression on, or if they're going to try to take a third base quickly with an observer on the way. I'm expecting a third base as you see this setup for the classic 3 gateway observer.
Yeah, and now we've got goon range, so Benno will poke the bunker a bit.
Yeah. So pretty bold here with that tank so far forward. I know a lot of Protoss players would just be like, I'll take the risk and just go for it, which it could either be great or spell disaster almost immediately. But Siege's about to finish up. That threat is closing quite quickly. And I do see a probe.
Isn't that every Protoss player ever? If I see a tank next to the bunker, I'll go for it.
I mean, it's not all of it. Like, some of us are honest boys. Like, some of us are like, no, I trust that you would defend it. And you want to play the normal game, and I don't understand those people, but they exist. And there's the next Nexus. Third base going down at the 6 o'clock. It is a mineral-only expansion, but Protoss doesn't mind that so much as long as you establish gas later. Which, on this base with the corners having double gas, you can definitely jumpstart your tech later, especially if you're going big on Arbiter.
Yeah, in that match in particular, you're fine with 2 gas for such a long time.
Yeah. And we're not seeing anything too drastic yet. Zoe only had 3 factories. I was expecting to see an armory sometime soon to like start working on upgrades. You're not going to be adding on a lot of factories, trying to build up for some kind of like early push. So hopefully you do see an adaptation. That probe at the 9 does get pulled back, so it was just a scatter pylon, just really trying to mind game us, making sure us as observers are on our toes and paying attention.
Yep, he just wanted to throw us off guard. He wanted to watch the cast later and laugh at us.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I should do that. There's like one thing. It would be so inconsequential, but it'd be funny. It'd be like, why do you build one gateway there? Just some weird stuff. That'd be funny. This probe does move out, though. It's moving towards the top right, so maybe look for another base or more of these fantastic... Yeah, maybe another scatter pile. You never know. But both players are just really kind of building up here, which really, like, I'm going to keep stressing this. Like, I would love to see an armory. If you're going to just slowly build up your force as Terran here, armory and, like, plan for the upgrades, plan for the late game, but... He's got a couple tanks, so he's got some of these vultures, and they're working on everything, so gonna feel comfortable to push out here. It's still hard map to move on. No siege here. Yeah. The Dragoons doing a great job focus firing some of these tanks. 2 of them go down almost immediately. No mines to support this, and Zoe's move out ill-advised.
Such a great job here, and yeah, I mean, Zoe's probably not gonna be pushing forward the next 5 minutes or so with what just Benno did. So very good job by him.
Yeah, and you cannot lose tanks like that when you're on 3 factories, 1 machine shop. Those tanks are gold. You need to keep them all alive. So losing those, Benno feels so comfortable here. Citadel's on the way. You can start working on Templar tech.
He was legs and scouting down. See, that probe now spots the vultures.
Yeah, I mean, there is a couple units back at home. And a shuttle already made, so if you wanted to break through, I think you have everything you need to start prepping up. And that pylon wall at the 6 o'clock, gonna keep that base safe with a couple cannons as well. So Benno being very responsible here. And finally, some siege mode shots are gonna go down. Try to weigh this down. Benno on hold position, just taking some free damage, unfortunately.
Yeah, Benno should really back off with these guns, but I think he's just busy dealing with the vultures that try to run by. Hopefully now they pay attention to the dragoons at the natural. Or not.
Or not. They're just kind of taking a bunch of free damage, unfortunately. Armory on the way, but look at Benno. Gateway man engaged. All these gateways being added on here as the 3 bases are getting saturated and really kicking in. Although the Terran's still up in workers, despite being down in base. That is Benno not quite producing as well as they could. Hopefully it gets fixed in the future. One of those hard things to always do in this matchup.
Yeah, there were a lot of poses in these Nexuses. As nice time stamp, you should have about 60 probes at 9 minutes, and you can kind of see how much he was halting on probes.
Yeah, but you got all that stuff, man. You get so much stuff, you feel pretty comfortable there. But no, you're
Yeah,
absolutely
you got
right.
all that stuff. You got that scouting pylon and the scouting probe. I mean, it is something.
Well, he's got all of these gateways working up the tech tree pretty reasonably, which the Templar Archives is done, but I don't see a Stargate anywhere. So is it actually going to be Templar Tech much more embracing of this gateway army rather than going towards the Arbor Tech, which you see so commonly on this map?
I don't see Storm being researched yet, and there's no speed shuttles, but it might be. Like, there is one shuttle at the Natural and no Stargate, as you say, so it could be that new style with the High Templars.
Well, the Stargate's getting added on now, so I think just maybe getting distracted, try to defend the vultures, letting the goons die at the Natural, the Terran, unfortunately, so maybe just getting a little bit off course, but hey, we got a 4th Nexus on the way, so well, Benno's trying to lay claim to the bottom half of the map and gonna have a decent economy once they get that work count up a little bit more. Zoe's still building up their army back at home, and now with 6 factories with 2 machine shops, you can start making something a little bit intimidating. Maybe setting up the push once that +1 is finished.
Yep, quite right. And seems like Zoe got supply blocked right now, so they're building 3 supply depots at the same time.
I have no idea
Kinda
how
like-
Terrans build supply depots all game. They take up so much room, and you can't just set and forget with a pylon, so it's impossible.
Yeah, I think the worst thing is you cannot just send one SCV to build all your 50 supplies. That's got to feel the worst.
I mean, it's a little better in like StarCraft 2, where you can queue up the buildings, just let them go, like go roam free, have fun. But
Yeah,
we are seeing a big vulture move out off to the left side, undetected mostly from Benno, because that there was an observer, but it's pretty far up. I don't know if he's going to catch it. There is a couple cannons already positioned with a dragoon, but still, it's a lot of vultures. Luckily, there's not a lot of probes down here to kill and lose, so not going to be so bad here. But still, nice little move out from Zoe, try to find an opportunity to do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, Benno definitely does not need all that gas that they were trying to gather from these 4 gazers.
I mean, they will eventually. Arbiter Tech's on the way, especially if they go for a second one. So always using this opportunity. Look, moving into the middle of the map as the army does kind of go to the bottom side. And he actually retreats. He's going to just let this base take damage. And he's got 2 little groups of dragoons, maybe trying to fight this army out in the open field while it's out of position.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to flank it right now, coming from both sides, and that might be good, but
Ooh, yeah, there's not a lot of zealots here, but there's just no mines, no setup at all. The siege is a little bit late as well, and whoa, okay, that's enough for Zoe to feel uncomfortable. Which the Terran's up supply, guys with the early GGs, stop. What?
yeah, please don't do that.
Like, why? Even Kamura's in chat saying nice GG time. We saw your game, dude. Oh, unfortunate, but okay. The Pros managed to get the nice flank. It's a game that wasn't over yet. You can keep playing those out. I should just message all the coaches and be like, yo, you should tell your people to play until elimination once. Just try it. See what happens.
Yeah, I mean, tanks are pretty good units, but you have to let them shoot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not so effective.
Well, you also got to be in position. You saw how fast Zoe was trying to move across maps. That was like a death march right through the middle. And the observer did see when they moved out, so that's why what got the Puros to turn back around and try to engage them in a good spot. So managed to get the good fight, but you know what? Hey, win's a win. We take those. Alright, well, we're going into game 2. See what happens on this one on Polypoid. In the top right, in the blue Protoss, it's Benno.
And in the top left, we've got Zoe spawning in red.
Oh, yeah. I can't top spot. I'm turning into regular blue. Why everyone loves that navy blue? It's like there's just so attached to that color, but it's dark. It's hard to see, and everyone complains that you can't read the names.
I mean, it looks nice in the game lobby, but it's a terrible in-game color.
That's a jerk color for jerks. It's hard to see on the mini map. So it's like if you're playing against someone that doesn't want to like shift tab for the red mini map, I guess you're just trying to get the little free advantage. Which, you know what, I get it, but man, it's a jerk move.
I mean, I always shift tab no matter what, unless I'm playing on Ground Zero or any of these lava maps. They are so bad.
I always have to shift tab because it's not so bad, but in PvP especially, Carbot makes it just a nightmare to watch Zealot battles with the colors. So it's like I have to have it be teal versus red to know what's going on. And a little bit of fun chat. He guessed the password. I don't know what that means, but I guess there wasn't a public game or it didn't tell him anything, but that's okay. I'm going to guess the password is 1, as everyone seems to do that. Oh, no. So, hey, trying to get serious. We appreciate that.
So it might be a bit uneasy about that last game. Venom's cutting after Fallen again.
Yeah, on a 4-player map, I like that a little more just to find your opponent if you're looking for something in particular. But still, not going for the gas steal, not doing any kind of big reaction. So maybe just kind of like a relic from the other matches. Like, no, I scout here, and you just do it in all 3, so you don't like get like you just have a familiar timing regardless if the matchup needs it or not.
Yeah, maybe. And it seems like they're both gonna find each other on the first try, which is no disadvantages for anyone.
Yeah, I would say it's nice for the Terran to know it's like, oh, it's not 2-gate pressure, it's not a Nexus first, I can kind of do whatever I want to do and feel pretty comfortable here. I don't like this whole SCV, like trying to kill the scout like that. I think you're losing a lot of money when it's like, you're eventually going to get a Marine. It's going to die before anything really critical happens. And if they're playing good, like, the worker's never going to kill that probe.
I think in any matchup, whenever I get my probe in the opponent's base and they're sending a worker from their mineral line to deal with it, I'm always feeling happy.
Yeah, same here. I think that's just a relic from other games, like StarCraft 2, where it's like everything moves a little more fluid, there's a little more shenanigans, it's a little faster, so you want to try to get it out of there. But yeah, in this game, it doesn't feel very necessary. That SCV scout for Zoe does hide in the corner and, you know, living the good life right now. Is another early Zealot from Bueno, but there's a wall up the front. Zoe's going to be a lot safer against any kind of pressure from that, so we'll see what he does with that first Zealot. Not going to chase out the scout, so Zoe on the stealth mission, going to be in a great spot. Sends out a second scout anyway, though, which is interesting. Wait, is this scout, or is this going to be shenanigans? Who knows? It's in a weird spot, going to that 3 o'clock. Sounds like a great place to proxy some extra stuff.
And that could easily be either a factory or a starport.
Well, they stopped mining gas with all but 1, so I can't imagine it's anything too crazy, right? I'm expecting to see a CC, so this scout does kind of... It does throw me off a little bit here, so it's going to be able to move forward, see the lack of a CC on the low ground, and pokes forward. Doesn't even see a lot of Marines made, and gets enough vision, I think you would see a CC real close to the edge. And this is not even a real wall, this Zealot just walks on it anyway. Oh no, tragedy.
Maybe they just forgot about the SUV in the corner.
This Zelda, this could cause some real problems. The Vulture's on the way, but you know what? You can get whatever damage you can, and it's just good scouting info that the CC hasn't started yet for Zoe. Benno gets the first expansion on the way as Nexus gets started, so everything looking pretty reasonable for the Pro-Ash player here so far. Zoe got to shake off whatever was bothering him in game 1 and get a little bit focused up here. Like, building a bunker.
No, they're building a bunker. It's already done.
Yeah, this reeks of a game with a little bit of tilt going on, which is always unfortunate, but definitely a part of the game you gotta manage. It's hard though, man. You lose a game, especially that first one. If you like look at the replay, you're like, oh, I was in such a good spot, I'm done. Like you're gonna beat yourself up about that stuff. So a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I'm not gonna act like I don't get tilted. I get tilted like crazy. So trust me, I get it. All the way. CC finally being started on the high ground. Gonna have to go down. Goon does find that scouting SCV, so should be able to dissuade that from getting any real useful info. Doesn't manage to go down to confirm lack of gateways or see that robo, which would at least give you a little bit of a mind at ease. That's probably going to be Observer. It's just a normal Pro-Ash opener as 2 more gateways gets added.
yeah, but I mean, honestly, the robo and the observatory is slightly later, so I know Benno had a zealot in that Zoe's main base right now, but if Zoe decided to go for 5 fact right now, Benno would not be in such a good spot.
Yeah, I feel like there's only you gotta be a certain kind of player to really commit to something like that. Because if you go for that play and it doesn't work, it puts you in such a bad spot. So I think maybe after that first game, you want to kind of get into something you're a little more comfortable with rather than busting out something so committed. So we are seeing second factory on the way. CC about to finish, and the Goons are already pretty far forward. This could be annoying to actually kind of get down here. They're gonna start shooting this barracks to make that sway away. If they could stop the CC from landing for a while, that'd be fantastic for the Pro-Ash.
Yeah, but with 2 siege tanks,
Yeah,
these are just active.
Yeah, not gonna be able to do too much here, but still, it did buy at least a little bit of time. Finally, CC's gonna end up landing here, and Zoe currently down 6 workers. That next has been up for quite a while, and here comes a Goon walking over to 3 o'clock. It's gonna find this shenanigans scout that's been hanging out here for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was mainly trying to scout for when the 30 is gonna come up.
That's quite possible. You figure you'd want to do that with the first vulture to go out when you have mines, because then you have to actually clear out the mine to do it rather than just see it. But still, knowledge is good. You can even see SCV survives to go down to the bottom right. You're going to see the next set of bases as well. So if that's the plan you're going for, everything seems reasonable. Although Protoss, like that third base usually isn't at 3 o'clock, right? It's usually the mineral only, just because it's so much safer to take. But I wants that extra gas income.
In general, yes, but since they spawned in the positions that they did, I do like getting the 3 o'clock instead of the mineral only.
I could see that. That makes sense for mitigating the push distance a little bit. I always feel uncomfortable though if Terran can manage to push and get to that mineral only. Even if you don't have a base there, if they're on that high ground ridge, it feels so bad as Protoss, like kind of deal with it. So if you commit to like defending a base there anyway, your army's there, has a little more value. Like I don't know, that's the way I like to play it personally.
No, I mean there's definitely some sense in what you're saying, and I don't hate it. I do it myself sometimes. But other times I do go for what Benno is going over here, and I think Benno's playstyle right now should be I will try to delay the Terran's push as long as possible, but if at any point they get access to that high ground over my base, I will just have another base with 10 gateways over there, so I don't really care. Like they can siege that position. I don't mind.
Yeah, that's fair. Zoe's doing a good job spending the money they have, but they're still on very low production. Just still the 2 factories here. Looking like finally going to start some other things, but again, no armories, playing for late game, not slamming down a bunch of factories or having a second machine shop for like big muscle behind it. So it feels like Zoe's game plan is very middle of the road. That's not committed to like a big push, but it's not committed to a big late game. And overall, I think it just kind of makes things a little bit weaker. Although last game things were looking good, it's just kind of unfortunate engage and GGing a little too early.
Yeah, I mean Zoe was definitely in a good spot last game. Did not need to GG necessarily because like they had a bunch of army near the rally point at the natural, so losing these tanks hurts, but it's not the end of the world.
Oh, there we go. Now I'm seeing something I like a little bit more speed up. Double armor. You're going to go for a lot of upgrades. Really planning out for the late game here. So Zoe, hopefully they can secure that third base. They'd be feeling pretty comfortable. Starting to slowly bleed out with these vultures to get some mines. And as this barracks flies downward, it's going to find a giant package of dragoons, which is not what you want to see, but at least knowing where they are is great information.
Yeah, gotta move these tanks an inch forward so that they can defend both the high ground and kill these dragoons.
And would be bad starting to siege up. Not, you can call that position this time. Plano's gonna have to back off a little bit here.
Zoe's armories are already spinning. I like that.
Yeah, whenever those upgrades kick in, it's going to be good. So looking like they're going to be in the strong spot a while from now, but Benno still has 3 bases. Basically the freedom to do whatever they want, I think, if they want to take the bases down at the bottom right and like tech up to wherever they're looking for as well. So it's kind of turtling up for a long play, and unfortunately there's an observer in the base of the turn, but it's not looking for the factory counter or the armories or anything. So Benno playing a little bit in the dark, but still in a pretty good position. Kind of reading things the way you'd want to, despite not actually knowing.
Benno did block 2 of their gateways. That's always a bit unfortunate to see.
Yeah, the staggered building like that, it causes trouble. You don't really want to be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, you can only make Zelds out of these gateways, which seems to be what we're going for right now. But I always like to have all my gateways being able to produce whatever unit.
Well, we got 2 groups of goons from the sides. No zealots behind it, but there's no mines, no vultures to slow things down. We see Benno moving pretty far forward aggressively. Gets in the range of the tanks, takes some damage, but he's going to clear out all these units, take a big supply lead, and that is a masterful win for Benno. And again, Zoe's tapping out. That one's much more reasonable, but you can see how easy it is for Protoss to just snap into one good fight and kind of take over the game real quickly if you're just moving a little too far forward before you're fully ready to do it.
And Benno did not go for any Zealots almost any of these games.
I mean, he was starting to add him in later, but yeah, early game, like, Dragoons are all you need as long as you're not diving into a tank line to get everything killed off.
Yep.
Well, that does mean for Benno is a nice convincing 2-0 victory. Zoe, parts of the game looked pretty good. Like the way they're playing, the way they're building up, it's just taking one bad fight and everything turns into a fight that you don't really want to take. So hopefully they clean that up with some coaching, and we'll be looking forward to see how they progress later in the season.
Yeah, it is a bit difficult for Terran to gauge how they should do all these engages, but I think there's a breakpoint, and as soon as the Terrans can realize how to position their tanks, like, their gameplay just improves so drastically that none of these Protoss players that are a problem right now will be when they learn how to position the tanks. And I mean, that is one great thing about the Terran.
Yeah, once you get to that point, because I know how many games I've won, like in Tier 3 and Tier 2, just I catch them out of position. Their army's way better than mine, but they're out of position, so it does not matter. It's just about really setting up that good fight. But hey, that's enough talking about that second game. Let's get into the third one instead, and we'll see if this plays out a little bit differently. Hopefully we get a series that doesn't have that a little early GG timing, or that could just be the theme of the night, which is fun. Oh, oops, wrong.
We're about to find out.
There we go. All right, we're into our third set of the night. Let me do the proper tab. In the top right, in the orange Protoss, is Arcade Wins.
And in the bottom right, we've got Tube Grub.
So is it? So I see him in the chat. Is Tube Grub your actual name? Because On my sheet, it's Intion. Did you substitute, or are you just like one of those maniacs with a lot of usernames?
Let's see. Cool calling them out. Now they have to answer.
Alright, it is Intion, so yeah, just one of those guys with multiple usernames, which, hey, if you guys want to express yourself however you want, that is not a problem at all, but remember that it makes my casting life a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, I had to change my Twitch name and everything to Y2Kid just because of that. It just makes it much more consistent. It's easier for everyone. Just trust me. Been there, done that.
That's all good. I don't even take my own advice. My StarCraft ID is Karma is cute. So it's like, I don't take my own advice. You don't have to listen to me. We are getting the pylon up and forward and an immediate scout. That usually indicates the Forge expand because you want to see how greedy you can end up being. And Tube Grub 9 pool instead of over pool. And he's got a gas on the way. This gets the official Nablime Steel a stamp of approval. 9 pool speed. That's the way to just rob games that you have no business winning.
9 full speed. Let's see what's the reaction by Tube Grub. By Arcanus.
Well, it's still the Forge on the way, but it's gonna be how many cannons do you make? I think against this, you gotta just commit, make the 2, or maybe get away with the 1, but you gotta like block the ramp, be real careful. I think at this point, just get past this early on. It's such a commitment. You got the probe in. You can see what's going on here. 6 lanes are being made. You got decent travel distance on this map, so we'll see if it ends up being enough. First can's on the way. He's got money for the second. Is Arcade Win gonna be greedy?
Given how large this map is, you can get away with 1, but you're way better off throwing both cannons.
Yeah, I even like the placement a little bit, again, making sure that it's not just run by ones closer to the ramp, so things should be looking pretty easy here. This first 6 lanes moving across. Lane speed started, but pretty far away, and still more lanes behind. This is like really committed aggression from the Zerg here, not trying to take that extra hatchery. So these 2 cannons, definitely the right call. A gateway before Nexus, I don't like that as much. I got a real beef with the gateway and Forge before Nexus in either order. I hate both, in both ways. I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I see why they're doing that. Like, the choke is so much more narrow when they do that. So it's not terrible. But yeah, you can definitely get away with not building the gateway there.
Yeah, you can just block off the ramp if you're really concerned about it. But Lane's going to go through their probe up the front, buying a decent amount of time. The cannon's doing work and eliminate all but 2 of the lanes here. So Arcade Win should be feeling a comfortable spot and immediately puts down the Nexus. And once they got that 400 minerals, so things feeling pretty good here. A scouting probe, just checking the bottom left, make sure there's not anything over there as far as a sneaky base. So you still see Tube Group on 1 hatchery worth of production. And he's got to come back and kill this.
Not really going to pay any attention to that pylon in the natural. There you go.
Well, I mean, you're slowing down the extra hatchery. You can see there's a drone just hanging out there. Tube Group's money is actually quite high at 550 at this point. So I think this is where you just commit to take the 3rd base instead. But if the lanes come back to kill that pylon, that means they're not at the front of your base. You could breathe that sigh of relief. You survive the early onslaught. Oh no, they're not mining gas though. Look at these. Notice it, please. Okay. Alright, it was just a slow start on it and everything. I always panic when I see this stuff, because if you miss like the first 50 gas like real early on, it's just a nightmare to recover your attack in time.
Yeah, I mean, I've had these games that are terrible. You sort of have to commit to some very early Zealot aggression at that point.
Yeah, it could be real troublesome here. It's a lair on the way. 3rd hatchery is done. The probe can't get in the base, so you could start panicking, thinking, is it going to be more aggression behind this? Just transition into Hydras, but with the lair on the way, hopefully Arcade Winds does get everything they need tech-wise, and with Stargate, they're going to be able to scout, see what's going on, and be ready for Spire play if that's the choice.
Yeah, I mean, Arcane did scout that the mineral only was going up, so they can possibly be not as paranoid about early mutas as they would normally, but
yeah, well, I mean, I still think you just want to get the, if you think it's going to be used at all, getting Corsairs up, and even in general, just Corsairs are such a good unit for dealing with some of this stuff. Sneaky
Yeah,
Overlord
I mean,
is going to get into the main and scout that it is a Stargate play.
Zeros are nice, but scouting that third base is sort of giving you a sign of relief so that you don't have to commit to two cannons almost as your to be done almost as your Corsair is finishing as well. So that's a lot of minerals that you can spend on something else like gateways and pylons.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what ends up being. Evo Chamber on the way, still no Hydra Den yet, so the
It's
lair
definitely
is...
scouting probe trying to get in, and I like that.
Yeah, it went way around off to the side, sees what's going on at that third base, the mineral only, gets in the main, sees a lair done with no tech available and a spores being made, so Tube Grub really being careful about how they're going to handle the next phase of the game, but they've rushed to this lair, no Spire, no Hydras, then why get the lair?
Yeah. Totally agree on that.
That's going to be okay, though. Because that probe got such great scouting info, when this first Corsair pops, you just kill Overlords. You don't need to go scout. You saw everything you needed to see. This pro is actually looking like they're in a comfortable spot. I need to get my games into this spot here. My PVZ never looks like this. I'm like in tatters, barely holding on for dear life. And he's just comfortable. There's that Spire on the way finally, though. A little bit of damage from the drone is going to be able to kill off that scouting probe, and there's that first Overlord getting attacked by this Corsair. So you start moving out, trying to make sure Zerg doesn't have any vision other than those lanes that are still pretty far forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good decision. The probe just managed to scout everything in the main, so why not take that Overlord?
Yeah,
And Timber is supply blocked right now as well.
Yeah, oh, it's pretty good here. Especially like with the 9 pool, you didn't get the drone count quite as healthy, although it's quite healthy now. But yeah, getting supply block, things get slowed down, and Corsairs are still looking around. They want Overlords, but they're not going to find any, unfortunately, until they get across the map. Which, that Spore's already protected like everything. You're not going to be able to get too much done. Sounds like prime DT time, though.
I mean, Visible went pretty good.
Invisible Men are very good. I love them. I love them when you can make sure there's no Overlords hanging around anywhere. Even the links from the front are going to retreat back home, so Arcade wins. All the pressure is basically alleviated. They keep building up for a 2-base push, or they should feel comfortable to take that third base up at 12 or wherever they want if they want to go for that instead. But with Temple Archives about to finish, Zealot Legs on the way as well. I'm either expecting to see a Nexus soon or a lot of gateways getting added on, hopefully just not staying on this low production for too long.
Yeah, 2 gateways, 3 gateways is definitely not where you want to be right now. And there is no second upgrade in the Forge. So maybe Arcane will just commit to a very early Zealot attack.
Well, it's already happening at that 6 o'clock base. It's just a couple Sunkens, no real units. These Zealots, though, they got the legs, they got the +1, I believe. So they're doing great work here, killing out a lot of drones from Tube Grub. But the Sunkens do basically go undetected. They're just kind of killing off the force. So big damage is done, but he's not going to be able to kill the defense. And now that the Hydras are going to show up for reinforcements, the base won't go down, but still pretty decent damage for the cost of not that many Zealots and an opportunity to take that third Nexus at the 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at that. Transport for Overlord. Oh, you're after my heart, Tube Grub, you wild animal.
playing a bit dirty, although there are no Overlords.
Yeah, they're so far back. They're impossibly far back. Like, I don't think that's really going to be the way to go, but still, drop such a powerful tool in this matchup, especially if your opponent. Like, Arcade Winds did start the +1 weapons, but they stopped it. They didn't end up finishing it. They were making Corsairs, but they stopped production on them, so there's not going to be a whole lot of anti-air here. Instead, we're seeing some Hydras trudge across the map, and looking like maybe they want to see something. The Corsairs do find out where they are and how many. Take some damage, but doesn't even lose a Corsair, unfortunately.
They lost one of the setters. He's got 2.
Yeah, it's like one got hurt a lot, but didn't end up getting killed.
Alright, yeah.
I see DTs in production. You got Storm ready, got a couple High Templars banking up some energy, and these Corsairs cannot find Overlord if you paid them money to find it. So the fact that there's no vision or detection anywhere, that drop's not going to be as useful as you would like, but still that means DTs will be great for defense here, as Pro's just going to be able to build up that third base. But need to see that probe count kind of go up a little bit though, everything being built the way we're seeing from Arcade Winds. The probe count is kind of the thing holding them back a little bit.
Yeah, and I'd love to see Cube Grub expanding to a fourth base rather soon.
That would seem pretty good here. Actually working on the lurker aspect instead of the Hydra speed. I don't know how much I like that choice. I think slow Hydras just they're so slow. They do so little of anything. There was an
in this moment trying to sneak in at the middle only, but is denied.
Yeah, there is overlords there for the vision, so can't get the job done, unfortunately. Ooh, Hydras do show up at the 12 o'clock. They're slow, but there's still a lot of them here. With plenty of speed zones and good storms.
We've got 4 or 5 storms here, so...
Oh, there's the first one. Not great. Only hit really one of them. Does damage to his own Zealots, but keeps moving forward here. The attack keeps going. The Zealots are starting to take some big damage here. The Hydras do get repelled a decent amount. Without speed, it's going to be hard to reinforce them the way you'd want to. So Arcade Winds defends without losing too much here. Only it can a couple Zealots. Not so bad at all. Manages to secure that third base, keep it alive, and they're moving towards that next step. Getting the reservers on the map and working towards that ranged Dragoon upgrade.
Yeah, but we've got 5 hatches for Tube Grub and a lot of Hydra, so seems like he might be able to get that Hydra pump going. But no second gas, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Possibly he'll need the...
Yeah, I didn't
He'll need to
realize
invest in another base, definitely.
Yeah, I didn't realize that they still didn't take the second gas, so I think they really got to work on getting a corner base. But look at these overlords moving out. Now that they got speed, they have drop as well. And you can see they're all kind of clearing away towards that 9 o'clock. So Tube Grub might be going for the big power move to surprise. I'm dropping stuff in your main. How fast can you react to it? Arcade Winds, I gotta say, has been doing a great job reducing. They're not queuing up a million units. It's still spending their money pretty well. With the lower probe count, you know, that's... You take whatever you want to take from that, but still, so far doing a good job. And adding on a shuttle, so maybe an opportunity to do some drops of their own, but this attack over at the 9 o'clock could be huge.
And now Arcane is posturing to attack at 3 o'clock, so his army is way out of position, and these drops seems to be on their way right now.
Yeah, don't move away from the natural. He's got a decent little force that should be enough to help defend, but yeah, here comes that move out. It's Hydras though, not lurkers. I'm actually a little bit surprised. There's just the one lurker that should be able to help out, but look, there's no buildings on the south side. Minimal warning here, adding on some more buildings. Here's 4 overlords. How fast a reaction? I don't see any pros being moved yet. Here's the drop, and we're going right for the production instead of some probe kills. Let's see how much damage these Hydras can do.
And seems like Arcane is running back, trying to defend, so his attack, his army that was near the 3 o'clock is completely caught off guard here.
Yeah, you can see he's retreating all the army back here. Should be able to have enough to clear this up. There's one lurker that I don't think there's vision for, unfortunately. Storm's going down does clear it out here. And now it's just a small group of Hydras. They do some pretty big damage though, but not a lot of probe kills. They don't actually kill too many buildings as well. So honestly, this isn't so bad for the investment that Grub2 did.
He's attacking his own rubble right now. Okay, he stopped.
Yeah, Grub2 does take an opportunity to get some damage up down to 12. This is the probe kills he's looking for. It wasn't the drop, it was the secondary attack, while Arcade Winds dealing with the drop does some way bigger damage. Resets that work count to even between 2 players. That's actually unbelievable. And Grub2 has a window to get up to 5 bases now, taking the 3 and also taking the bottom left, which that hatchery's gotta be 1 hex too far to the right, right? Like that looks off. That's gotta be too far in the bottom left. Or am I just like crazy?
That die is too far.
Yeah, unfortunate, but still, the base is there, no big deal. You got another guy you could take that's not going to be out of position, so you just throw in one extra worker, no big deal. GrubTube, though, big attack, takes the supply lead from his opponent here, and now Arcade wins. He's going to have to figure out how to get back in it. They're taking a Nexus at the top right, and I mean, they got plenty of army, so I guess maybe that's going to be the move you go for here. You can see an army moving to the bottom left. You're going to maybe shut down that base before it gets out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, there is Overlord to spot it, but let's see if he will act with moving his Hydras and Lurker army.
No, there's no defense
Like
here.
the answer is no. He's Timgr can now see that the Pros army is there. But maybe he's hoping that he kills that hatchery so that he can build his own center at this time.
Well, I mean, if the army's down here, that means his attack from Grubhub that's moving. I knew I was going to call him Grubhub one time. I knew it was going to happen. From Tube Grub, from Incheon moving forward. Plenty of units moved across the bridge, an ill-advised move because Storms are so potent here, but the Templar not in position to really do anything about it. He's going to have to back off here. Arcade One's trying to defend. Plenty of lurkers get burrowed up, but they're by the can, so they're still in vision here. A little bit of reinforcements from the Zerg, trying to do what they can. Storm's doing decent damage here, and despite only really having Dragoons here, it seems like Arcade is mostly going to at least buy time for his reinforcements to come back after killing that bottom left base.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that Timgr has going for them is they're still pretty even on the worker count.
Yeah, the bottom left base didn't have workers at it yet, so losing the hatchery sucks, but still not so bad here. There's one lurker still doing what he can, but he's got plenty of observers, plenty of vision to clear these out. The attack does get repelled. That means Arcade One feels comfortable to try to take the 12 o'clock again, and that top right did get actually finished, so Arcade One could rebuild those workers, get back to a decent state here. And Timgr got that third online, plenty of sunkens, but actually not walling off the entrance I think is a bit of a mistake. I think you want to like Evo chamber the crap out of that. Here's a Templar, some shuttle, Templar and Zealots. This should be enough to deny the space. They're going to go for it. And they're actually just going to go right by it.
Just flies past it. He's not interested in these drones. He wants the main drones.
I mean, slightly more, sure, why not? The Zealots can do some damage to the tech, but this is plenty of warning here. Tube Grub does have the good reactions, pulls the drones before Storms can go down. The two Zealots go down first, they're taking some big damage, flies over the Spore, loses the shuttle with the Templar, unfortunately, but everything's out of position. He has an army going for the attack at 3 o'clock. It's just sunk as that is not going to be enough to hold this off.
Yeah, as you say, he really wants to have some evolution chambers and workers behind that.
There's some just to make it hard to get through that wall by yourself time. And you can see, here comes the Hydras to help reinforce this, which he's going to be able to kill off all the units, but there is a KP boy like that you will not be able to see. It's going to be able to start mowing through things or at least finish off the hatchery if you want to. Here come the Overlords, so everything does get cleaned out pretty effectively.
Oh wow, the hatchery survived.
Yeah, he didn't commit to attacking it. He could have killed it. He easily could have killed it if the DT just kept swinging at it.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
I mean, I wouldn't hate it now if he morphs that hatchery into a layer.
So how does that work? Does it just add on that the extra health immediately, or does it go like all the way to full? I've never actually thought about that at all.
It will add it as soon as the layer is done. So if it starts morphing, it will be very low health right now. But then as soon as it's done, it will add what is it, 650 or 550 health immediately.
That's not so bad here. We're seeing Zerg trying to push forward against Hydra Lurker army, attacking this 12 o'clock base. Decent Storms trying to whittle things down, but still it's a lot of Hydras. The second set of Storms not hitting quite as well. The Lurker's not involved in the fight, but a lot of the ground army for Arcade Wins is getting eliminated here, with the cannons helping out just enough. The Storms do enough after casting plenty of them, so I think finally going to hold through with the defense. Both sides losing a good amount of army, and there's a lot of just back and forth action between the two to try to establish bases and keep each other off them. But Arcade Wins started to build up that real death defense comp as they start adding in Reavers into the mix. Oh god, look at all these cans at the top left, jeez, or top right, Jesus.
I mean,
Sure, why not?
that is sort of how you want to defend it, because it's so far away for your army.
Yeah, but I would want to see Templar. Like, that's the big one. Like, the Reaver's helpful. The Reaver's great, but a Storm or two as well really makes it a nightmare to try to attack with anything. The Reaver will be great against Hydras, but as this game gets later, especially whenever Hive is on the table and you got to deal with Cracklings, you need Storm, otherwise the lanes will just tear everything apart. Reaver will not be enough to save you.
Yep. You need both Reavers and Storm and cannons.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it is. It seems like Zerg's still building up their army up by the 12 o'clock. They want to keep pressuring here. There's plenty of Archons, but that means there's not a whole lot of Templar. There's one here that doesn't have the energy. There's just going to be these cans and some Dragoon reinforcements. Just swaying the aggression from the Zerg, doesn't want to keep pushing forward, but it buys time for both players to get these bases online, start adding on more workers if they want them. And finally, Zerg is adding more drones.
Europe's not doing a great job of building drones, and he forgot to get these drones that he transferred to the Nature to prevent them from being killed from the drop. Forgot to put them back into the main, so that is hurting him a lot right now.
Oh wow, I didn't even notice it. That Natural's so oversaturated right now. It needs to bring some of those back, unfortunately. Oh, we'll see there. A lot of Overlords getting killed though with this attack. Hydra's going to be reinforced, getting some kills. Storm was fantastic, doing so much damage there. It should be enough where this little army of Protoss does survive. And look at that supply difference now. Arcade wins up by a mile here. I think it's just Zerg not getting the economy they need, not going to Hive Tech, or like even like really being super great about the upgrades. Unfortunately, with the attack going on 3, there's no real defense here. This base is going to go down as well.
Yeah, and I believe that might be it for Tube Grub.
I mean, he's adding on more Hydras, so it means he's not adding on drones. I think this problem's just going to keep getting worse as things go. A couple Hydras on some kind of sneak mission to do something, but Arcade Wind's pretty good about canning their bases, making sure there's some level of defense everywhere, so unfortunately not getting anything done. And look, Pros being transferred over, what? I don't know what that is. That's got to be misclick. We're going to ignore that. But still, Arcade Wind has an army active on the map, and by the natural, there's no stack defense. There's no units here. If they Arcade just goes for the attack, there's no way to stop it. Zerg agrees and taps out of game 1.
Yeah, what these pros were doing, they were kickstarting a base over there.
Fair enough, but it's just wild to see 5 pros like, we're going on a mission, boys. It's like, let's go explore.
Yeah. One probe was assigned the job, but then 4 more probes decided to join just because why not?
Hey, in these trying times, it's such a rough world right now. You need a secure network of friends to emotionally support you as you go wander into the wilderness.
Yeah, maybe the pro just said, I don't want to go there in the dark alone, so I need some toast to come with me.
Yeah. Very possible, but still, that's a pretty good win for the Pros in Game 1. We're on Polyport for Game 2. Very different kind of map, but we'll see if the playstyle matches the same. In the bottom right, in the orange Protoss, it's Arcade wins.
Yep, and in the top left, we've got Tubrup again. In brown this time.
Yeah, 4-player map, cross spawns, so pretty nice. Get you a little extra time if you're worried about 3-hash Hydra or anything like that, so... We'll see if either player favors this a little bit. Arcade Wind did open with the Forge Expand before. I'm expecting to see the same.
So I don't know what sort of mentality would I be as Tube Drop, because like that previous game felt like he did a lot of good moves, but he just got overwhelmed at the end. I believe a lot of that was because of tiny mistakes like forgetting to bring that like the drones back to the main base after the drop, or just not making enough drones, or late 4th, but overall, like it felt like he did no major errors and he still got watched.
Well, I mean,
so I wonder if he's more inclined to do an all-in this game.
Maybe. I think you could think about that, especially maybe on the 2-player map, like knowing about the double gas corner bases might affect how you play differently. Knowing that it's like there's less bases to take if as this game gets longer, this might be like less comfortable here. Or maybe you feel more comfortable that a lot of the bases have ramps that you can protect with lurkers to just play a very different style of game entirely. 4-player maps are just very different for stuff like that. If we manage to get to a game 3, seeing how these players play between Polaris and Eclipse, to me that's a much more interesting comparison to think about, since they're both 2-player maps, but they play very differently.
Oh no, he built the torch on the right.
Yeah, that's not what you're looking for here, but that scout does see that is a hatchery first, so that's kind of what you're looking for here. Is this the map that you can manage to do some kind of cannon rush if you're looking for it? Or do you just go for the Nexus after? Yeah, let's go. This is what we're talking about. Someone pinged the blind. He wants to see cannon rush so badly here. Does 2Grub see it? Yeah, that pylon's too far forward. You revealed the trick.
Yeah, there's a slightly better way to cannon rush over here. But, I mean, that's pretty good too. He just needs to... Yeah, okay. So these drones are not getting in.
Yeah, not unfortunately. I think I would try to do it a little bit more on the upside to hide it, but still, like, if you can get through here, like, it doesn't matter if you're hiding or not. Cancels the hatchery. That is the move I like to see here. Now, what I want to see is moving to another base. Taking your extra expansion somewhere else. We are
I actually believe that if Arcane starts building on a simulator, he can escape with the probe. Oh, no. He tried that.
I mean, it's one probe. Just let it. It's cool. You don't have to save that probe. He did his job. For the cause.
But maybe he wants to scout, or maybe he wants to follow up with another cannon rush.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice if you can try to manage to get through. But still, he didn't even have to complete the cans to get the cancel. He's delayed the second hatchery so much. And we do see a pool that is done with gas in the way. So, you know, an adaptation to do something a little more aggressive here. Lanes are moving out. Those piles are not going to give you the scouting if you would need. But Arcade does have a gateway. Zealot on the way. And one cannon about to be completed. So if you can block off and buy a little bit of time, should be sitting in a very comfortable spot.
I wonder if that gateway is tight on the left right now. I'm not sure.
Dude, I have no idea about like walling stuff, but seeing like some of the buildings, I have like a notebook with like little notes, and it's like I had to look at every single game. I just cannot remember how this crap works. The probe gonna move out, sees 6 lanes. The Zealot is done in time, so these lanes, are they going to try to run through, or are they just going to chip away? The cannon's in range to help defend the gateway, and the second one going down. Arcade wins, not giving any yield to any shenanigans to take some damage after how strong the opening they have is.
Yep, gonna put that second cannon down. A bit late on transfer to the natural. But not the end of the world.
It's gonna be a lair in the way with Zergling speed. Tube Grub still has a good amount of gas banked up, but they're still on 2 hatcheries of production. They haven't reclaimed the natural, which, I mean, like, if you try to take the hatchery, do you try to cannon rush it again as Arcade wins? Like, I feel like the second one probably doesn't work nearly as well.
I mean, yeah, you could, but I feel like Lynx can also run by and kill everything that's over there right now.
Yeah, I'd actually go kill those pylons. I would actually supply a block Arcade wins to kill those 2 pylons right now.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you get the links, you do want to kill these pylons if there's no cannons.
Ooh, some kind of shenanigans on the way. Burrow being researched, another hatchery on the way, and Hydra done. So the possibility for 3-hatch Hydra, it feels like 100%, but this Burrow might be a little clever trick to, it's like if you feel your opponent trying to do some kind of damage or put themselves in a weird spot, you can really do some kind of cool stuff here. I always think of effort when I think of Burrow. That's hoping for something second.
I feel like what Tube Grub might be going for here is burrowing a bunch of Hydras or Lynx at the high ground near the Protoss main and just waiting for the Protoss to be out of position so they can counterattack. That would be pretty sick.
I mean, even you could just do that with some links that are far forward. Like, you could just make it an easy counterattack and just run by with the speed. The speed links do catch this probe moving out to the top right. I don't know if it's trying to scout or trying to take another expansion, but either way, that probe's not going to get too much done. Two Grub still he's got an extra hatchery on the way, but still hasn't reclaimed the natural to actually get an expansion up. It's just gonna be this extra production. So I feel like at this point you gotta be committed to like doing some kind of big attack, and it's gotta get some damage done.
Yeah, I mean, he's only got 3 hatches and no layer yet in production. He's banking a lot of gas, but...
Wait, there was a lair. He canceled the lair?
He did, yeah.
Okay, so canceling lair, I guess needing the economy, the money, and the gas right now to go for the Hydras instead to get these upgrades up at a reasonable time. Getting range first instead of speed, but not moving forward to like start chipping away at the wall. You usually like getting the speed first instead, but we'll see what Tuberub wants to do here. 6 Hydras going to slowly trudge into the middle of the field and find this one Corsair. If they can kill that, that'd be pretty nice. And they don't. They don't see it. They just walk past each other and wave.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is I don't think Arcane paid attention to the Hydras because he's not any extra gas.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult here. The Corsair gets some scouting info, sees a lack of a lair and a Hydra den, so Arcade wins. Can't start adding on cannons for extra defense. Kills an Overlord is going to help slow things down, but this wall is actually a little low on room for cannons, but still, you got speed zealots. I think you're feeling pretty comfortable here after slowing down Zerg so much. This attack just doesn't feel very robust.
Speed zealots is +1, so these zealots are quite deadly as well.
Yeah, these lengths are not going to help out too much either. Even the zealots, though, they're being careful not to fight too far away from the cannons. There's that wall instead of the hole in the side of the gateway that could have been abused earlier, but lanes all get cleared out here. Zealots get a good engage on the Hydras, and they're going to not take this fight. Tube Grub, without a lot of drones, losing all of his army in the middle of the map and no tech to speak of. I think Arcade Wentz can cruise to an easy victory here. But even if you just send the Zealots across, how do you survive?
A lot of that Hydra aggression hinges on denying that +1, which the Zealots already have. So I don't know if you will be able to defend. That is a lot of Zealots going through the third base.
And there's a Corsair there. It sees that there's 3 Hydras of defense. You don't have to like be like, maybe there's more. You could see everything. It's no big deal. Hey, but you do got that burrow, right? So you can burrow the drones and save them. Like that could be cool. I'm reaching here. There's just too many Zealots. Tube Grub agrees. He's gonna tap out of this, and Arcade wins. Takes a nice, convincing 2-0 victory.
Yeah, congratulations to Arcade wins here.
Alright, tier 2 showing that there is a little bit of variety in the skills in tier sometimes, especially maybe particularly to the matchups. I think little easy fixes though we're seeing in these games, like position a little bit better, be a little bit better about your worker production. A lot of these problems could get fixed and really elevate these players. So hopefully if they're watching, they can know what to work on and especially get some coaches' help trying to figure it out. We got one more set tonight, but remember, if you guys like what we're doing here, there is a subscribe. You can follow the channel at the very least, get notifications when we go live, which will be tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And there's more casts over the week, so stay in the Discord. You'll see everything you need to see. But we got one more game heading our way. It's a Pros vs. Terran, a matchup that I love so dearly. So I'm excited to close it out with this one.
Yeah, and I see Superman is in the chat here.
Yeah, I've seen actually a lot of players in these games in the chat, but I only think only the ones that had both players. So it's like you see someone talking in chat, it's like I'm really excited to watch this. Like I guess they win, huh? Well, we'll see if that ends up being true. If he's just here to hang out.
Not necessarily. Like sometimes I do like to watch the games where I lost to see what the customers have to say about it.
Oh god, if I had a good loss, yeah, but I've had losses where it's like, well, you can't wall against Lings apparently. Crap, I don't want to watch that game.
Okay, yeah, I mean, in that case,
it
probably wouldn't show up.
It's a learning opportunity. Like, ooh, these guys know how to use top versus bottom. I was about to roast them, but they roasted me first. In the top left, in the red Protoss, it's Superman.
Okay, so we are going with top versus bottom, and in the bottom right, we've got Bashing spawning in blue as the Terran.
Yeah, what's top versus bottom even a question? Purple versus black on Polaris? Not a chance we're watching that crap.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best colors for Polaris for sure.
It's not the best colors for any map. Maybe like
Yeah.
Tau Cross, a snow map? Maybe.
No, I like purple, as I said. I think it's a nice color.
Yeah, I mean, we'll end up seeing here. We got a nice forward pylon here, so maybe forward gateway action from Superman wants to put the pressure on a two-player map, knowing where your opponent is. I'm not sure if there is Zealot type wall you can do, but there's always the Sim City you can do in the base with the depot and the barracks and all that stuff. But see,
Yeah, there is a South type wall here.
Yeah? Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Then I will stop
Superman.
doing Zealots first in this map.
I think I was helping Superman for one of the series. Is that the series that I helped you for?
Oh, there's that
I don't
forward
know.
gateway. Gonna be able to put some pressure on, so I'm excited to see if this first Zealot does go out, and hopefully Bashing has the decent thing. I think this is how you want to set up your buildings to give yourself an opportunity to micro your Marine, but this is pretty far away from the SCVs, so it'll be something you could work with, but still, might be an opportunity for that early Zealot pressure to get some damage done.
Okay, so Superman in the chat confirming that that was the series that I helped him with. I did not tell you to build proxy gates on,
This isn't
on Polaris. What are you doing?
This is forward gate, not proxy gate. This is honorable. I just want to fist the cuffs a little bit build.
I did not tell you to build aggressive gates on Polaris.
Well, he doesn't care what you said, man. He's the one playing the game. He's in the spotlight now, and you're just the teacher that could be disappointed in him. This is a macro build. Yeah, nothing says macro like immediately rushing a Zelda. That's okay. No,
It could be.
I mean, realistically, it doesn't. It's not such a low commitment just to put it a little bit forward. It's really more just a pain later on. It's like eventually that gateway is going to be out of your macro cycle. It's going to clog up like a big army movement. But early on here, if you just want to get some damage done, definitely worth doing.
Yeah, also in Superman's defense, he is going indeed for that macro because he got the gas straight after the gateway, so not that much difference from your regular build.
Yeah, well, here comes that first Zealot. The SCV does see that is a forward gateway, so should be prepared, not caught off guard. Factory on the way, and got us pulled out of the gas, so should be set up for an early expansion. But if you need to get a Vulture to survive this pressure, definitely an option. Making more than one Zealot, though, this is definitely a little bit of committed pressure, so Bashing should be in a good spot to deflect this. But Marines are pretty far forward.
To all the Terrans out there in the chat, like we had that SCV that managed to scout the forward gateway. If you see that, that was right about when he pulled off gas. Just don't pull off gas. Go to factory. Like 2 factory is so strong against forward gateway.
Oh no, you're encouraging people to 2-factor. You're a monster. Why do I let you into this cast? These Zealots doing your job, but do not delay the factory. The first Vulture going to go on the way, but Marines are getting killed off here. All the Marines are now dead. You can start working on the SCV line. Vulture's going to help, but still, damage is being done. Superman does get a good opportunity to do something here. And I see a third Zealot in the wings. This is Vulture going to be enough to deflect this. Actually taking some pretty big damage here, and like the cost of this was building a gateway in a weird position. That's it.
3 Zealots in the main base. I mean, no, Bashing is in trouble.
Oh, he's even trying to make a bunker. I don't think you make the bunker here. You don't even have Marines.
Yeah.
What does this bunker do? Oh, unfortunate, a little bit.
Zoe earlier also throwing down the bunker. Like, she should at least cancel the bunker right now. No.
Yeah,
no chance.
I think there's the, it's like the safety blanket. It's like, I got my bunker. I'll be fine.
Yeah, I've got a bunker. I don't have Marines. I don't care. I have the bunker. I can hide the SCVs there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we see that this SCV scouting for Bashing does confirm the Nexus timing, so not more gateways, not more pressure behind it. Superman is transitioning out into a great spot. They're up 11 workers already, still 1 base versus 1 base, and Bashing has plenty of money built up. They're going to try to make a CC and catch up here. Here come those first couple Vultures, though, but there's goons made. There's a wall that actually makes it harder to get through, so these Vultures are not going to get anything done. Superman in such a great position early on in the game.
Yeah, and let's see what Superman's full of this. So he did see a factory done with a machine shop, and we don't see Robo Bay yet.
I mean, would you want to see a Robo Bay, or you mean just a
robotic
box facility?
facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, man, going for really fast reavers, that's a sharp turn. But there is that robo facility, so should be able to get observers or whatever you're looking for here. I think I'm really just looking forward to how fast Superman's going to take their third base. So I think they've done enough damage. You don't have to try to end it right now, and you can see if your opponent's going to make tanks and be defensive, like they can't pressure you for a while. You've done too much damage early on.
But that's the thing. Like Superman right now does not really know that he's making tanks. Like he could have been making vultures and mines, and he's in trouble with that late of a robo.
Well, you know now from the siege mode, one Dragoon does end up going down. Was a little too far forward, took some free damage, but still confirming that the first tech is siege. Note means that mines are not really your threat right now. Robo is nearing completion with 2 gateways done. We'll see if Superman, what they're going far as tech, but like it's gonna be well for Bashing feels comfortable enough to move out, especially since right now it's 1 factory production, no armory on the way. It's like at this point, like it's just gonna be hard for Terran to get a good foothold. He's gonna have to defend and just hunker down for a while.
I'm not sure if it was Superman's early zealots throwing off Bashing off guard, or if he was just planning to be super aggressive this game, but it didn't quite work out. But check out the worker count.
Yeah, he's not making more workers. He's got 3 tanks. He's gonna move forward. There's a couple Dragoons up here that can at least buy you time and whittle things down. Superman needs to have some units here though, doing some damage to these tanks. The unit count back at home for Superman not particularly great, but moving out with some Dragoons. He wants to buy time the best he can. If you could pick off these Marines, that'd be nice. And I do see a probe up to 12 o'clock, so plans for expansion are probably going to happen soon. But you still got to not take big damage from these siege tanks as they move across the map.
Yeah, and that Terran army can look very scary right now.
Ooh, there's the observer to stop these mines. That's going to be at least helpful here.
If the tank is not actually leading the charge, that'll be much better.
Moving across the bridge, not sieging up. We've seen so many times getting out of position can cost you pretty dearly. But being careful here, siege going down, not all at once. There's not a giant opportunity.
Mines. My mines are pretty good, and more vultures are coming to reinforce, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
situation does not really look good for Superman.
Well, he's got 4 gateways of production, working on a shuttle as well from that robo. Finds the angle, tries to get some damage on a tank.
Look at that mine, oh my god.
I don't want to look at that mine. That mine's going to give me nightmares later tonight. The pylon goes down at the front wall, so that's 1 gateway less production to deal with as well. So you can start chipping away, and this is the vulnerability of doing these forward gateways, that you probably could get in a decent position. The tanks move really far forward as siege though, so taking free damage, 1 tank goes down. It's a little overbowled by Bashing. Probes getting pulled here. The vultures should be able to clean up some of these probes. Can that tank go down? It gets killed by a probe, unfortunately, but still, this is big damage.
Busy macroing at the front, not really macroing back at home, but...
Oh no, we're gonna talk about the slip of macro later, but right now, like the micro is the exciting part of the game. He gets the workers to stop mining at the natural. Superman takes big damage, but still has a massive worker lead, and everything does look like it's finally gonna get repelled since all the tanks are dead. And yeah, you look back at home, lots of money for Bashing, only 2 factories, no armories, no nothing, and eBay is barely on the way here. But this stops Superman from taking that 3rd base, but still, Pro's in a much better spot here, despite Bashing finding at least a window to do something.
Yeah, but that was a lot of damage that Bashing did.
Yeah, it was a lot of damage, and he's still down a ton of workers. So, like, at that point, like, does it even really matter? Not particularly.
Yeah, well, I think that all comes down to he did not really produce workers while doing this. If he did, then he'll be ahead right now.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. Well, we are seeing Pros build up a little bit of army. He's got the shuttle, so he doesn't have anything in it, but still an opportunity to get something done. Mines from bashing, at least trying to slow down some of the pass, but Superman's going right for that bridge. He wants that bridge, which always scares the crap out of me, but still, an opportunity to take that base at the 12 o'clock and keep building up back at home. We'll see if he wants to put more pressure on, or is he comfortable just taking the third base?
Yeah, I mean, goons and bridges are not the best combo.
Oh, not at all.
I think when goons have nightmares, it's always bridges and ramps.
Well, Observer's in the main. It got some knowledge of what's going on, and it doesn't die to the turret by 1 health. Jesus. That's not even fair. That thing should be dead. And it moves slightly up to see that more factories getting added on. It's going to be 6 with 2 shops, so it's going to be a pretty intimidating army from Bastion when he gets there, but that early lack of workers is going to bite him here. He won't be able to really afford what he's looking for.
I think Superman might have used that patrol trick. Did you use the patrol trick?
I don't even have patrol. It's still a P on the other side keyboard. I do not use the patrol trick. Not even a little bit.
You should rebind your patrol. It's very useful command.
Well, so what is the patrol trick that you're talking of? I actually don't know because I don't do it.
So when doing the observer scout going for the Terran base, you can move command your observer somewhere near the Terran base, and then you can click patrol and go and order it to patrol somewhere in the Terran base. And then if you do that, anything encounters a turret, it will back off immediately, and backing off immediately will manage to get the observer to survive with 1 health.
Oh, that's very interesting. Not relevant to what happened there, because it was just parked when the turret was built under it, but...
Yeah, because if you use patrol, your turret also survives at 1 health every single time, if it sees a turret, so you should use that.
I feel like every time I look at these buildings, I keep thinking they're so far away. Is that Nexus okay? Or is that too far at the 9 o'clock?
It's too far away from the gas.
Oh man, they need to make the StarCraft 2 do that, where they put the little thing on the map. It's like, put it here, like so that way I know every time. We do see Bashing trying to move up here, slow down Superman's push from the right side. There's still plenty of units outside the bridge, but not trying to pull forward here. So Superman taking a fight in a little choke area. That's exactly what Bashing needs here. Kills a decent amount of army for pretty free, and Protoss back down to a very reasonable supply lead that they have here. As Bashing is just kind of building up on all these factories. I would love to see them try to be in position for taking another base, but they got a lot of tanks and they just want to be aggressive right now.
Yeah, I mean, with these 6 factories, they can be. Obviously, doing 5 factories and +1 is much better in terms of macro, because he can't really support the 6 factories now. You can only see that he's building 5 units at a time.
Yeah, well, part of that is the worker count problem as well, though. He should be able to support these a little bit better, but still, I mean, just an intimidating army, a lot of tanks. As long as he doesn't get caught out of position, which is always the thing in this map, moving in a safe way throughout like all these paths and high ground variations it's pretty tricky. So we'll see if Bashing how he goes, and the way he's moving away from this Protoss army seems pretty reasonable so far.
Okay, but one thing is Superman. Like, I don't want to be too critical to them, but
do it. He's in chat.
I did work with Superman before that, and what I told him is, do make sure that you scout. Like, your observer is right next to these 6 factories. You see them. There is no reason why you're not at 10 gates right now.
Yeah, adding on more would be nice here. At least Arbiter Tribunal's done. Stasis on the way, so gonna have that tech ready eventually. Trying to take a fight up here with Speed Zealots moving in. Siege is a little bit late, but the Zealots are not engaging too well here. The Zealots all getting cleared out. It's down to just Dragoons, but here's that shuttle dropping in a couple Zealots trying to help out, but still, this engagement of the Protoss, Bashing is dying for a fight like this, and he cleans up this victory so easily here. The Protoss army gets killed off, and now the supplies are much closer, and really the supply list is entirely just built on probes.
Yeah, and most of the Protoss supply right now is in the gateways, and Superman has way too many units queued. That's why you need a few extra gateways.
Oh yeah, that's not exactly what you're looking for, but I mean, hey, you're in a hectic fight, it can get difficult here. Mine's getting laid off to make sure it's hard to defend this. A couple cans are going to slow things down, but Siege Tank's not going to have any problem here. Reinforcements Vulture, so this 12 o'clock base is under siege, should be able to go down here. At least they took the 9 o'clock, you have an alternative here. It's about saving these probes now, not losing too much. And Superman's instead of trying to take a little bit of a flank here.
Oh, these mines detonated and all the probes that were trying to be saved are now dead as well.
Oh, I missed it. No, I missed it. Well, you see
A bit unfortunate with the counter-attacking there.
yeah, not particularly great here. Superman doesn't have a whole lot of units. He's trying to like find some weird angle, like the Arbiter. The Arbiter attack is actually doing the most work right now, and even with the scans, there's just not a lot of army here. Bashing's still in a great spot. He did kill that 12 o'clock base entirely, and I hear just a lot of scans going down. I don't know why he's so committed to this. Superman did build more units, and we'll see if you want to just keep pushing forward. Don't siege on those mines though. Baits all the zealots is doing fantastic.
And we got one stasis.
Yeah, that's
Catching
all.
2 tanks.
That's all the energy though. I mean, it's better than nothing, but I don't think that's what you're looking for here. Bashing comfortably retreats a lot of his army, leaves a couple behind, unfortunately, but still finds some good fight wins and keeps everything looking pretty even in the game so far. And finally working on size facilities, start working on +2.
In fact, if Bashing was reinforcing right now, they might have been able to save these 2 tanks as well. Oh my god, look at the tanks that are stasis right now. One of them is 17 kills, the other one has 14.
Oh god.
Crazy. I just noticed that.
Yeah, well now I can definitely see where he's like, no, I'm killing these 2. They're important. It's a moral victory.
Yeah. They're gonna be punished for their crimes against the probes.
Well, Bashing's guy might be punished for his lack of expansion soon. He finally takes a base down at the 6, but it's not even really mining just yet. And you can see Superman, if they're spending the money the best they can, queuing up though, still kind of a bit of a problem, but Arbiters are starting to really get into production. EMP is just started now, so it won't be ready for a little bit. The Superman's kind of gearing up, looking like they want to push an attack. And they're taking an exit at the bottom left. You animal. That's not your base. That's the Terran base. You don't get to take that one.
And when you're playing on Polaris and when the Terran is turtling hard, the Terran is not really turtling hard, but when the Terran is turtling hard, why not? Just take all their bases.
Well, don't take their base, take the top right. Meanwhile, we did get a raid from Blackman PL. Thank you so much. For anyone tuning in that doesn't know what we're doing, this is CPL, the Coach-Pupil League, where we have some of the best foreigners available teaching you how to play StarCraft, improving your game, and then we run a little league. So we're casting some of the games that got played for week 3, about the halfway point of the season. So we're about nearing the tail end of it, but we still got one more PVT set that you're watching right now between some players. Probably like 1450, 1500 MMR for tier 2?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
A lot of factories getting out for Bashing. He's trying to gear up here, and look at that supply difference. That caught up real quick. Managed to kill the Nexus down at the bottom left, which is funny, but Bashing was down quite a lot. Now he's up on workers, about even on supply, and working on that +2 upgrade. So the early game looked a little shaky, but definitely hitting his stride as we're entering later and later in the game, and Superman not taking more bases, not making big use out of these Arbiters.
Yeah, I mean, as Superman right now, I mean, he did lose that 12 o'clock, which sucked, but he managed to rebuild his army, so should be looking to expand to more bases right now.
What I'm looking for though, it's like you got another armory that's not spinning, not researching anything, unfortunately. But I want to see some good EMPs. There's armories really build up a lot of energy in the middle of the field. A small section of the Protoss army gets engaged on the left side. Superman's gonna try to come back here and fight this. Plenty of energy. Where's that first stasis? That's what we're looking for here. Nothing happening yet. Nothing sieged either. Great stasis to start us off. Man, half these tanks are out of the fight. Superman should be able to clean this one up. This actually might be stacing too much. You can't even fight things.
Yeah, I mean, that position was not good for the Protoss to find, but the Terran was not sieged, so it worked out fine in the end.
Yeah,
Which is, I think it's the same issue that we have with Zoe. Like the Terran army is better and the position is better. It's just the
trying to rush it, not slow play, not like making sure things are sieged properly, moving in a way that you can't get caught in a really bad spot like this. As these stasis wear off, they're all wearing off kind of at the same time, so it's still tanks are reasonably strong here, but there's enough Protoss units to clean everything up. And as I was just saying, Bashing's unit supply is like, man, he almost caught up. Things are looking great. Now it's looking way worse as Superman's way far ahead. Bashing taps out of game 1, and man, that was exciting from both sides, but I can't believe that fight went so lopsided. I think the arbiters are just broken. Oh, he
can't
did
say that. You play Protoss.
I can admit they're broken. If a Zerg player says, you know what, I think the fighters are fair and balanced, I don't listen to anything they say ever again.
Okay. You got me there.
There you go, see? And Terra players will admit about tanks because they complain about TBT. They're like, man, tanks are broken. Because then they have to deal with them.
Yeah, it sort of is like Zerg players. Everyone complains about Zerg players. Even Zerg players complain about Zerg players. Oh no, I don't like a matchup versus Zerg. Says every race ever, including Zerg.
I liked versus Zerg when I played Zerg. That was more fun. We're going to get to our second game, though. Polypoi is the map for this one, and in the top right in the red Protoss, it's Superman.
Yeah, and in the bottom right in blue, we've got Bashing.
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. I think everything was looking pretty reasonable here. And you can't, on a map like this, 4-player that you don't know where your opponent is, you can't imagine he takes that much damage from early Zealot pressure this time, right? That'd be like wild to go for it here unless you're fully committing to Proxy Gate.
I mean, he can still go for that forward gateway that he did last game. That's fine. Even on a 4-player map.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but I feel like it's not as necessary or insured because like you still have to scout them in time. You gotta hope like there's not a good anti-zealot micro to like spots to work with. It feels a lot riskier, so I would like to not see here. And with the pylon and the main, we're not going to.
Yep, that is correct. Wondering what Bashing will do. Like I don't know when sometimes when you there's two types of players usually in CPL when they lose a series. Some of them decide to go and be really aggressive the next game because yeah, I lost, so I don't really feel like playing any long games. And the second type of players is after they lose, they're like, right, I only lost because I did not macro well, so I'm gonna do my best, macro my heart out this time.
I think that depends on how you lost the game, which, I mean, Bastion fought their way back to a good spot. They took early damage. I think the clear problem was the lack of workers early on, but once he got an army and got a spot to get some control, the only thing that went wrong is that he moved too far forward, didn't siege, didn't play patiently. So realistically, I think if Bastion played the exact same way, he'd be looking pretty.
Yep. I wonder if Superman thought that he spawned in the bottom right position instead of the top right.
Wait, what?
I mean, the SimCity looks a bit like the SimCity that you do when you're at bottom right, not top right.
I mean, as far as for us building placement, I just make sure I can macro everything confidently, so I only really care about, like, can I have a line of gateways going vertically through my base? So other than that, I don't really pay much attention to it.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I don't know, I think I just like having pretty layouts, so I have a specific layout for every position.
You're insane. You're an encyclopedia. And like every time I play on a map, I'm like, all right, how can I fudge a wall that looks like I know what I'm doing? Like there's no planning, there's no practice. Now we are seeing factory on the way. Guys pulled out of the gas, so it shouldn't be too factory anything too crazy. Pro finally does get to scout Superman, again, not going for any kind of pressure, skip the fast Zealot to get an early Dragoon. And Bashing, unfortunately, is going to scout that last, so really is not going to be able to see anything, as Superman's going to go for a pretty nice Nexus. I like going for the 21 here.
Oh, see, I caught it. Superman in the chat saying that he thought he was at the bottom right position.
Man, you're just like, are you like just manhandling these guys like this is what you do on this map? You will learn everything. Like, oh man.
I mean, I wish, but not that good. Maybe in a few seasons.
I think you could be, not a problem at all. If you're just studying all this stuff with this encyclopedia knowledge, you could definitely be in a good spot here. Bastion getting a fast machine shop, hasn't started their CC just yet. As I say that, gonna be proven wrong, or is he gonna keep producing stuff? With more Marines on the way, I'm expecting this to be an FD, put a little pressure on.
Yeah, I mean, 3 Marines is usually where you want to stop. Okay, so Superman is going for that scouting that command center. That is really good. I mean, they lost a lot of the shields on that Dragoon, and losing that Dragoon almost is suboptimal, but I like that they try to scout it.
Yeah, you gotta confirm, you gotta know for sure, but still, you see a lot of these Marines, and I like that Bashing's not revealing the rest of it. He's keeping up on the high ground until he's ready to move out. I think once he gets that second tank, he's gonna have Spider Mines ready, reinforced with 1 extra Vulture. You can push forward, and Bashing is not really far forward with a lot of Dragoons. It's gonna be hard to slow this down, especially how weakened that first one already is.
Yeah, and I mean, with all that shit I was throwing at Superman last game, I want to give them a shout out this time, because like they did scout that command center. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but seeing that command center is just started, and then parking their second Dragoon at the ramp is a very, very smart thing to do, because that timing of the command center tells you that it was a factory expand, so there might be a Vulture on the map.
Yeah, absolutely, could be something here. Bashing, I'm surprised. Like, they see if they're... Actually, was this the push he did before? Did he wait for 3 tanks? I think he actually was. He waited for 3 tanks to push out. So we'll see when he wants to move out. Now the third one's out. Vulture on the way. So we'll see. Yeah, there's the unload. So same attacks that we saw last time. Superman's got 3 gateways, or 3 Dragoons here pretty far forward. Some of them a little bit weaker. Let's see if we can actually slow this down any significant amount.
This time, Bashing is going with 9 Marines, and 9 Marines is much scarier this time.
Yeah, 1 Dragoon already dead. The really weakened one was not the one that got killed, unfortunately. A couple more back at home, but you're going to roll up into their base. There's walls to kill, so easy free damage that you can take, and 4 Dragoons is not enough. You can spread them out all you want. This is not going to be enough to make this fight happen. Reinforcements on the way, but Bashing's here right now. These tanks going to provide some muscle, trying to kill off some of these goons. 3 of them already dead here, and Vultures can now start letting mines be obnoxious. As an observer to see things at least, but still, the Terran army is here at your base. How are you going to survive without taking too much damage?
Yeah, in that position as Superman, you want to abuse the high ground over your natural base, and then as soon as the tanks enter the SimCity, you want to pull the probes. Like, you want to get them... If you have goons, you want to get them fighting with your goons. If not, you just want to save them. And he's doing everything that he needs to do. It's just doing it a bit slower, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. And I believe he will be able to defend still.
Yeah, I think Bashing here is being a little more aggressive than I like. He lost 2 tanks, like, sticking around. I think you could have killed those pylons, killed that observatory for free, kind of walked away. You killed a Nexus, you're up a base as Terran, you're feeling fantastic here. Overstays, there is a supply block even from Superman, so it's not like you're anticipating a giant counterattack, but he did lose a lot of units, you know? If there's going to be any window here, I think he kind of handed it to Superman.
For sure, and I mean, he had the 3 tanks and a few Marines when he was when he managed to breach all that army and push him back into his main base. At that point, if that ever happens to all the Terran players, I do love if they reinforce with a few Vultures and maybe 2 SCVs, start building bunkers and turrets in the Protoss Natural. It's just so unbelievably hard for the Protoss to get away from that position.
Yeah, I every time that happens to me, I have to go reverse to break out. It's the only way I've found that's like gets at any reasonable amount of speed. Since you already have the robo
Yeah,
anyway.
pretty much. And that's why you bring the SCVs and start building turrets. Then the reavers are suddenly not as good.
Yeah, I mean, so all this attack bashing did reset the Nexus, which is now back on the way, about halfway done. So she's gonna be able to reclaim that base eventually. Did some good work or damage, but it's not like he got a real big death blow, and the money's starting to pile up a little bit here. Again, I think late on getting guys in that gas at the natural, like we saw in the first game, you can think it's a little bit hard to spend the money the way you want to. But he's trying to add some extra factories, got the army working on upgrades, so the Terran position looking pretty good now, and even the Vultures scouting around the map, make sure there's not shenanigans. The Superman try to take a third base he can't actually hold here. There's nothing on the map that we know of, but I like that Bashi's looking for it.
Yep.
Ooh, I see a shuttle with a couple zealots and a decent amount of goons. I think I wonder if Superman's going to be trying to break here. This is going to be a pretty hard spot to go through. Although there's not much in the bunker still, the tanks could be in really obnoxious spots. Although Bashley's not exactly positioning it though super well at the moment.
I mean, this time, Bashing is doing much better with the SCVs. Like the saturation at the natural is a bit low, but the worker count in general is much more balanced this game.
Yeah, for sure. And a Vulture does kill the probe that was at the 12 o'clock, so Superman, if they were thinking about taking that third, they're going to send over another worker, clear out that Vulture first. So everything we're seeing from Terran looking pretty strong right now. And even still, like, the supply between two players is about even, the worker's about even, and that always favors the Terran, unfortunately.
Yep. As a Protoss, you always want to be ahead in supply in all the matchups.
I got a couple scans going around. Wants to see what's going on. How many gateways? Is there some kind of weird tech switch? Because you haven't tried to take a third base, you're not being real aggressive, but here comes that aggression. The barracks taking a lot of free damage. These tanks are not sieged, not in a great position here. That Mind Drag, almost disastrous, doesn't do tremendously huge damage. There's a siege though. The Dragoons don't have any Zealot support. Zealot bomb, and all the Zealots have already been used, unfortunately, so Superman's got to back off. Dragoons are not going to be enough to muscle through.
The Zealot bombs are pretty nice though. Like, the Zealot bombs did a lot of damage to the tanks.
Yeah, some of them definitely took some big damage, but there just wasn't a lot of Zealots. Wasn't a lot of units in general, and Bashing almost got themselves in real big trouble again, just moving without siege, being out of position. Like, it could have been pretty bad here, but does manage to have enough muscle to hold things off, and he's going to start moving forward here. Superman's got to be careful not to take a fight he can't win.
Yeah, Superman does need to be involved here. Led a lot of units, but
yeah, so reinforcements coming through. Zealots, the legs are on the way, but pretty far away, so they're not going to have any speed Zealots to kind of help out here. The shuttle can help, but still, you can see the Superman army. It's like one control group. It's got a couple observers even. It's like, this is not the army you want to be trying to be forward and cute with. Superman's still not trying to take that third base, though. Or actually, they are just starting at that mineral only. I'm just trying to look stupid when I make these kind of bold statements.
yeah, I mean, at that point, Superman sees the factory count, so I would not hate it if he did not take the third and instead macroed. Because a lot of the gateways are idle right now, and Terran has pretty big army. So, as Protoss right now, you don't really know if the Terran will just stay defensive and try to take their third, or if they will press on with attack.
I mean, he's got the observer in a base. You should be able to get an idea off what's available for the production. Considering that it's not a tremendous amount of factories, it's not, but it's also not double armory. You don't see a science facility like on the way to keep the upgrades rolling. So, I mean, you can glean what you want here, but Superman, try to just build up an army. But I feel like you got to get better eyes on that third base, see what's moving here. And you can see Bashing's going to start moving forward. We'll see if Superman can try to delay this out, or is he just have to full retreat.
Oof. Bashing is doing some very good job leapfrogging this game.
Yeah, definitely a lot better not give himself in the position. They learned the lesson in game 1 to not let that happen again, so I like what we're seeing here.
Yeah, I always like it when players realize what they did wrong and then next game they correct it.
Now they're moving forward pretty good here and doing a good job not overstepping. Has a couple Goliaths to make sure the shuttle's not quite as effective. A little bit of a flank from Superman, but I don't think it's enough units with that line of tanks so vertically deep.
A lot of units we cannot afford to attack right now.
Yeah. Even if you got in though, you had more units. That vertical line of tanks is just so hard to break through. You can attack part of it, but you're gonna be eating damage the whole way as you fight. There's an observer that sees everything that's happening here, but they know that they should see Bashing's up 30 supply and still pushing forward, not deterred at all.
Yeah, that push is so strong.
Do these vultures not have speed? I'm just watching them kind of casually move around. I don't think they have speed, right?
They don't. They are almost.
Oh, that's funny. Even at any stage of the game, still shenanigans. Trying to move forward here. The mine's going to do damage. They can't get to the tanks for an epic mine drag. So the Protoss army gets donated here. Bashing gets a clean win on this fight. It's up 20 supply in a great position. And still has some of these vultures available as well.
Very nice vulture positioning over there, so... Bashing did execute that whole attack quite well. And that sort of was the reason why I was saying that Superman should have, instead of taking a third, stayed in macro, because sees all these gateways, sees no second armory, so he knows that Bashing should be going for a push.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but you can also, he went for a Templar. You see DTs in production now. I think maybe going for Storm. Just trying to do a little bit too much. Bashing's got enough of an army. Going to take a win. We're going to get a game 3 to close out the night.
Yeah, it was a good game. And now let's see Eclipse.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it. I used to complain as like we're casting Eclipse all the time last season, but now this week I'm excited to see if games get to Eclipse. That means we're seeing an exciting set.
Yeah, I do like Eclipse as a map.
I do. I just saw it too much, man. I saw it way too much.
Fair enough. Like in this match in particular, as a Protoss player, I don't like Eclipse as much.
Really? I like it though. That's good.
It feels like Terran can easily get that. Like, if you can deny Terran from taking that third base, they will easily take the third base. And Terran on 3 bases, you can't really afford to do that gateway manned refugee style Protoss play style that often wins you a lot of the games. And if you get contained once, you just lose the game.
Well, we'll introduce the players as we're seeing some shenanigans in the middle of the map with a red probe and Superman not having any of this nonsense. Doesn't want to take the game late against Bashing after seeing how the first 2 games went.
Yeah, I mean, he probably also feels that way about the map, so...
Yep.
The question now is it going to be 1 proxy gateway or 2 proxy gateways?
I'm guessing 2, but it's going to be up to the defensive Bashing. The blue Terran in the bottom left, if you can hold on here or scout it out. Like, I feel like you see a lot of scouts, they just go through the middle. They don't even look. They don't take this little path. They're not even looking around. So it depends. Yeah. Does this get scouted, and is there a wall to help out? Considering that first depot is nowhere near the ramp. I think these Zealots have a big opportunity to do big damage, and we saw what happened in game 1 when Superman got Zealots in your base.
That gateway and the pylon are too forward, like he might give it away without actually.
Well, it's actually just 1 gateway pressure, so this is like the ultra forward gateway. It's more extra forward. Oh, I mean, still, that means it's not a full commitment to the proxy. If it doesn't work out, not so bad here. And the probe's just going to be in here trying to be annoying, do a little bit of damage. Really getting some damage on SCV, which is kind of nice. Now. Ooh, Bashing barely does not see it. Barely.
No. He sees it. Saw it on the minimap.
Wait, he saw it on the minimap? Because he didn't have vision of it.
He did. When he was going up the ramp, he So the gateway just
Oh,
barely.
on the ramp, you see it? Oh, that sucks. We'll see if he is paying attention, though. There's one thing to know that's coming. There's another thing to be able to deal with it, and I love this gas steal. Make sure there's no factory, no vultures to save you this time. You will survive with your Marines, which immediately there's not a Marine in production. This 300
there is no
minerals
Marine.
bashing. Come on, bro. What are you doing here?
I think he's just panicking and trying to handle it too much. Okay, he's building a bunker.
Yeah, that's so
I don't
so
hate
dis-
that.
You need to. You need to build a bunker right now.
The bunker over here is fine. You can do it without the bunker, but if you are building the bunker, it's okay.
Well, the bunker does complete. One Marine does manage to get in. The probe dies, but the zealots are still pretty strong. Superman's not even adding on more zealots behind this, so it's just a bit interesting, but that means saving up plenty of money to do whatever, or just, missing the opportunity, making a zealot now instead. So here comes 2. The bunker should not be able to cover the bottom of the mineral line, so you can still get a lot of big damage here, or just put pressure on these barracks.
As the Protoss, you can either go for that supply depot, that's okay, trying to snipe Marines, or the better play would be to kill all the SCVs that are trying to mine from that bottom patch.
Yeah, that's what I would look for right now, especially since down at the bottom there's a second Rax in the waist. Bashing is Trish trying to survive here, but might be transitioning into a style that's a little harder to pull off here. The SCV building the barracks will not complete it, so not going to get the extra production as these zealots keep marching in. And back at home for Protoss, he has an extra game plan. Cybercore's done, second gateway on the way. This one gateway pressure is doing so much work, that barracks is never going to finish at this rate.
Yeah, let's see what the plan for bashing is, because if he can commit to bio, build an academy and go for Steam Marines and try to cheese the Protoss that way, but everything is just so delayed that I don't know if that's gonna work.
Well, I like what we're seeing, though. The Dragoon range on the way can start making Dragoons and keep the pressure on. Because bashing is going to be a while before they recover. They still haven't even finished up the gas, so factory is still miles away. As these zealots do start to get cleaned up, now you got to deal with the Dragoon, and that's not any easier. But Superman not being quite as bold with this one, doesn't want to just have it take a whole bunch of free shots. As I said, it steps forward, just walks into Marine range, gets a kill here, but takes some hull damage in the process.
Okay, so he does complete the second barracks here. So let's see what's the play. He's making 2 Marines right now. Oh no, he's building another bunker. You don't need that.
I think just worried about the Dragoon pressure, because the Dragoons get back at the ramp once they have range complete. It's going to be hard to deal with them. So getting the bunker, holding the ramp, if you're choosing to build a bunker instead of pulling SCVs instead, I don't hate it. You feel like you're under pressure right now. I don't think things are too bad. Bashley's already taken so much damage to this point.
Yeah, but the point why I don't like it is that he's building a bunker, he's pulling SCVs, and he is very behind on work. It's okay if you just get 5 to 6 Marines, no bunker, and 1 SCV. That is completely fine.
Well, there's your
it's
academy,
okay if you get a few Marines on the ramp and a bunker, that's also fine, but doing all of these things, it's a bit too much. I get it, when you're in that sort of situation, you don't feel very comfortable, you prefer to play it safe, but this time he's playing too safe.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Factory on the way, academy as well, so should be an option to go for STEM, maybe add a couple medics and try to get some kind of shenanigans. But I saw Citadel of Adun finish. Temple Archives has not been started yet, but still, gateway production. Superman not expanding behind is going to keep leaning in, trying to do something. It's going to be hard to break that ramp with all these Marines in that bunker at the top. So I'd like to see expansion. He's going to try to poke down the bunker. I'm not so sure about this one.
Yeah, it's much better to just try to take poke shots at the Marines, because they're not as big range as the guns at this stage of the game.
Alright, well, we're seeing Stim on the way, medics in production, and here comes the Templar Archive. So it's gonna, you have plenty of great options. You go for the DTs, because it's only going to be scans holding you back at this point, Or if you have time to get Storm, you can wipe out this, but that's pretty far away. We're seeing the move out here before Stim is about to finish, so a little bit of an anti-timing. Can't take that real good fight. Dragoons with the range trying to do what they can to slow us down, not get caught super unaware, but you see Bashik wants to be aggressive. You see
He's done already. Yeah,
Stim.
so Steam Marines should be able to take off these goons quite easily.
Yeah, just gotta be very careful not to lose these all for free. You see Superman, he's backing up back at home. DTB made out his gateway at the front. This is what you want to see here. The Academy's done, but Scan has not been made. He's still focused on recovering the SCV count. This could be a game-ending mistake.
Yeah, I mean, even if he has a scanner right now, going for DT is still a very smart option. So I like what Superman is doing here, because if they have only one command center with one comms station, that's just not going to be enough to stop the DTs.
Yeah, not even a little bit. First one's on the map, going to be able to start moving forward. There's another one forward, so that's much closer here. You can start going through here. Stim's going to make it way easier as well. You can start slicing through these, make sure the Dragoons don't get all cleaned up. And you can see the panic now. You cannot see what's happening, but you hear the swipe. You know what's going on. There's no detection to be seen, unfortunately. This DT is going to do everything it needs to by existing, and that'll make Bashing step out of the game as Superman takes the win 2-1.
Yeah, what a game! I mean, I enjoy what Superman did here. I think it was a very Protoss thing, and that's why people like Protoss.
It's a very Protoss thing. Absolutely was a very Protoss thing. And I like that Superman, all their games, every time they did a forward gateway, were really aggressive. So, you know, super fun. But that is going to be the end of us tonight. It was a great time casting some games. Y2Kid, thanks for joining me.
You're very welcome. And yeah, I had very good time too. I hope everyone enjoyed the games. They were definitely good games.
Yep, sounds like a good time. Well, we're going to close up the stream, and we are going to raid a fantastic player. If you want more action of the Terran variety, you can go watch Terror. He's a great player, definitely more educational than our content. But everyone, have a good night. Make sure we tune in tomorrow. We got more casts heading your way.
Yeah, and everyone enjoy Terror. Like, he's a great guy. He does Spanish and English, so have fun.